Are we ready?
I pressed the button already.
Y'all ready for this? I actually just listened, speaking of that song, listened to a podcast with the lady that wrote Bring It On.
Oh, yeah?
And,
what is it called? Listen to a podcast?
What?
What?
No.
Oh!
I listened to a podcast.
I'm so...
Good morning. Good afternoon.
No, good afternoon. No, good morning. Good.
Yeah, so I was listening to a podcast with the lady that wrote Bring It On. She also wrote Sex and the City and stuff, but she has this new show that she wrote called like Mob Queens, and it's based on a true story about the mob, it was a drag
Something?
it was like a drag transgender club. Drag club? I don't know what they're called.
Drag club.
Back in the day, and it was owned by the mob, and the like wives like ran it, and it's like this whole crazy story about all the shit that happened, and
Yeah.
it's cool. Anyways, bring it on.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Anywho, hi Shay.
Hi, Brianna.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Doing good. I am. How was your week this week? You were off on another airplane this week.
Dude.
On a whirlwind of a trip.
Yes, I was. I traveled to Disney World for about 72 hours, which is fucking insane because it's like a 3.5 hour flight.
Yeah.
You know, there and back. And my flight was at like 5:20 in the morning. And I was like, okay, perfect. I'll just set the alarm at like fucking at 2. And it'll be fine because I'm checking a bag. So I don't, because we live again an hour away from the airport. So I got this. I've never I've always checked a bag. Mm-hmm. So I am
like, I don't need to fucking plan.
I'm fucking fine. I got this. So I get
early.
I wake up like at 2:30. Still think I'm fine. I'm like, it's fine. Like I've traveled so many times at the Denver airport. I should know that it takes, like I said, like it's the size of fucking Manhattan to get like across it. And why I'm just like, it's fine. It's like my denial brain in my fucking skull. Anyway, so I get there. There's no traffic, obviously, because it's like, there's, whatever in the morning. And we go, just me, myself, and I. Of course, I get to where I usually park. It takes forever for the tram to get there. And by then I was like, it's fine. It's fine. Mind you, I'm in the parking lot it takes at least 15 minutes to get to the airport to get dropped off. And I have 30 minutes when they start boarding the plane. In my brain, the flight left like at 5:40, and that's when I timed everything on. And I don't know why I didn't plan on the fucking boarding time, because it's like, this is my first time flying. So now I'm like, okay, that's gonna be fine. So, because I'm like, I'm not checking a bag, so it'll be fine. So I get off on like the first one just so I can get to just to like the fucking terminal thing, and it's packed, of course. And I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go to the bridge, because there's like three different like places you can go through. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the bridge one. I am sprinting down
in your boot,
in my boot. So I'm like, sure, everyone's like looking at me like, and I'm like my like leg going out like a goddamn cartoon character. It was hilarious. It was pretty funny. And I'm going, like, I'm running across the bridge, and that's when I see the haunted stuff that your mom was pointing. I was like, oh, no, just focus. I gotta keep going. So I am running, and I get to the little thing, and it's taking forever. I picked the wrong fucking line, and then I'm watching these people like go up to a wheel, like
the security line,
like the security line, and like them, like, and the people are getting also. I got into the line where it was right next to the line where the wheelchairs are going through. And at that moment, I was like, fuck, that's what I should have done. I'm in a boot. I should have just gotten, and they would have just like carted my ass right through.
They would have.
So I was standing in the line for another like 10 minutes because it was like not moving. I just picked the wrong fucking line. And I'm like, oh, this might as well happen. And I'm having an anxiety attack. I take my boot off, even though it fucking hurts to like walk, because I'm like trying to rush through it. So I'm like trying to like finagle it, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine." And so then I'm still running down, and now I'm running down with like my stupid like cartoon leg, like on the moving sidewalks.
If you guys could see what she's doing, they're like when she says
like
that.
I'm pointing my leg out like just straight horizontally and just like
swinging around like a helicopter.
So then I'm running down. We had to get, because we have those stupid train systems, because our airport's so massive.
It makes it faster.
Unless like you go from the bridge thing, because you have to. So true. Anyway, so I'm like hyperventilating. Everyone's like staring at me because I'm just like. So I finally get on the train. It takes forever for the train to come. I am still running down. Thank God because the terminals are also long themselves. So I get to the gate and I see the Orlando thing, and I'm seeing the plane back up, and I'm like, number one, my grown ass self almost had a tantrum and cried in the airport. Not to anybody, but just to myself. I'm like, oh my God, I'm become this bitch. That's what's gonna happen right now. And then I was like, and I finally just like get your shit together. I'm like, can you? I'm looking for the Orlando flight, and he's like, you're gonna need to talk to that lady over there. And I was like, because I'm probably gonna have to rebook my flight. So I get over there, and I was at the wrong gate, and she was like, no, you still have time, like go. And I'm like still running down the jetway, and they're like,
oh my God,
no, you don't have to run, like you don't hurt yourself. I'm like, thanks.
It's too late for that, bitch.
It's fine. And then I get on the plane, and everyone has sat down. I'm just like, hi everybody.
You're like, I have a fucking broken leg. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah. So I like got there like I think like 2 minutes before they were gonna shut those doors.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Good job, Shay.
So like, and then
you are a fucking hustler with your fucking broken ass foot.
I don't know how I did that. I was super fucking lucky. I did not, because it took me from start to end. It took me at least 50 minutes to get from the parking lot to my gate. Like, it takes that long. So, and that was me rushing. So, anyway, So I finally get there. I go, make sure I'm recording. I go straight to, I'm just so scared that's going to happen one time. I go straight to the park, essentially. We went to Magic Kingdom. And it was like one of those moments where you're just like, I was in Fort Collins, Colorado, like just like fucking 5 hours ago, and now I'm sitting in Walt Disney. It was like one of those things. I felt like an old woman, just like, I just can't believe with the new transportation system, they can get you across the country real fast.
Them big birds that you get to fly on.
Look at the steel birds. Anyway, so we do the thing. I mean, like at Walt Disney World, we have Rachel's friends are all there, and she has no fucking idea. There were so many times that I was just like, because Crystal got like a little button, like it was her birthday.
Rachel's your sister, and Crystal.
Sorry, I'm not explaining that very well. And Crystal is her now fiance. So, so she had like Crystal has this little button because it's her birthday. So I was like in my head, I was like, oh, Rachel, you're gonna get one of those tomorrow. But I never did it. I was so
good job, Shay. Bite your goddamn tongue.
It was a day. And I was like, I'm not gonna have any alcohol because I'm gonna be that dumb bitch that says something. So
I can't wait for tonight,
yeah,
bitch.
I didn't drink anything until they were away from me, and I could be like, okay, I don't have to worry about it. So we go. Then what happened? Then we went to dinner, and it was great. Or they went to dinner. Rachel still has no idea. I'm hanging out with her friends, and then she does the whole proposal thing, and then she kind of did it by herself because I think Crystal was super, super nervous, which I'm kind of sad that I took some pictures, but I couldn't get in front of them because I was not a bush because it would have been really fucking obvious. They didn't even have any like fucking office plants, so I couldn't even like pull it off even remotely.
No plants in the place.
It was really like they just had like a lot of seating. So anyway, I was behind them, so I got to.
So you got there later than them and like just kind of snuck in.
We were gonna be like up like in a different restaurant like next door, but Crystal needed everyone to kind of like coordinate some stuff with her and coordinate like she got like a dessert menu, and she's an artist, so she drew on the back of it, and it was Rachel's obsessed with Friends, so she drew on the back of it, and it had Rachel sitting in the same booth that they were in, and Crystal proposing like down on one knee, and then on the bottom it said the one where she said yes. So it was super cute.
Oh my fucking God, that is adorable.
It was super cute.
And so sweet.
So again, I was behind him. So I watched
damn.
I watched the whole proposal happen, and Rachel and Crystal were not aware that I was up there. So I watched it because I saw her turn it over.
You were just in the fucking ceiling, looking down.
They had actually like an up like sushi bar on the top, so I was able to, and they were like in a booth and they were facing, so I was like looking.
Oh my God.
Up, yeah, so I could, again, I wish I could have gotten photos of them, but I know Crystal was so fucking nervous, but and Rachel, she would have known, and like she would have just known.
Like, why is Shay creeping up there without telling me?
Or like, why is Shay taking pictures of us? That doesn't make any sense. So there would have been no way for her to surprise her if whatever. Anyway, but I got to watch it all happen, which was really cool. So you could see her flip it over, and then you could tell it took her a minute, and then you could see her hand to her face. So I like, oh, it happened. It was all cute. So then they all came out. We were gonna wait to kind of see them, to like give them a moment, but then it was just everyone was clapping around them, so we decided to come out. And so Rachel was just like, I can't believe you fucking assholes, like, how did you guys keep this fucking secret? This is bullshit. Anyway, so
that's funny.
Yeah. It was really awesome. And then we proceeded, because they had a bottle of champagne. I'm pretty sure they had another bottle of champagne. I can't remember.
Good work.
I had not eaten all day, and I was taking some pictures behind them, so everyone was eating downstairs, obviously by themselves, but like Rachel was, they were by themselves, and the other group of friends were by themselves, but they had all eaten everything, really, and I had like a few bites of edamame, so I was delirious, and I was like, okay, I'll just keep drinking these fucking vodka sodas, it's fine.
Good thing you didn't drive.
Oh my God.
Fall asleep behind the wheel.
Thank God. So we then went to another bar, we had some more wine, and I think I had another beer at another place. Oh my God, it was real bad. And then we proceeded to get some White Claws, and everyone got White Claw wasted. I think I do remember even we had somebody there, her name was Allie, and she was the main MVP of the night, because there was one of the friends were like, we should get like a 24 case of White Claws, and she's like, we're not doing that. We're getting a 12 pack, and that's fucking it. So I was like, way to mom, Allie, that was amazing. Thank God. We would have been dead. So, but even with that case, we also, I forgot this part, to go get the White Claw, because they had a rental car. Allie had a rental car, and she was sober. We had one, and it was a 5-seater, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us.
Yes.
All piled into this fucking Hyundai Sonata.
Oh,
and
right.
It was like a goddamn clown car. It was fucking hilarious. We rolled up, and I'm sure that thing was like low to the ground with all of our weight. We get the White Claw, and then I think some like people like they were smoking some dank ass weed, and they came up and they're like, "You guys want a party?" And we're like, "No, we good. That's fine." But like,
you guys want a party?
Yeah, we're like, "No, we're too old. I'm sorry. We're gonna take our White Claw and go home." And then I think at some point we like even said like something. The claws. It was pretty embarrassing.
Do you make up a White Claw saying?
No, we just said, what is it? The clause, the law. What is the saying?
I don't know.
I don't even know what it is, but we did
There's a couple I've heard now.
It's all in bits and pieces and flashes. I like to say that I wasn't that drunk, but I was pretty drunk. And
White Claw, like,
it wasn't
is changing the game.
Yeah. Yeah, sure they are.
It's like a new part of pop culture. Like White Claw is now.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look how the seltzers have blown up.
It's crazy.
So,
anyway, that is really funny.
So anyway, yeah, so we drank the night away, and I stayed with one of the friends just because, I wanted to give Rachel and Crystal their time alone.
You didn't want to snuggle in to bed with them?
Didn't. They probably,
after their engagement?
They probably passed the fuck out. I'm not going to lie to you. They probably even didn't do anything. Not that it matters, or do I want to know? Anyway, so... but the next day we were going to go to Hollywood Studios. So we went to Magic Kingdom that day. We were going to go to Hollywood Studios.
Or Universal? Yeah.
No, Hollywood.
What's Hollywood Studios? Hollywood Studios
is like, it's like Disney's like.
Oh, their movie?
It used to be called MGM. So it's like Universal, but like one park.
Disney's.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
We did
like Hollywood Studios. What the fuck's that?
Right. So we were going to get up super early because we had 2 hours before like everyone can, like, the general admission, because we were on Disney property, so
That's
we could
dope.
go 2 hours before to just before everyone could have access, and it was where like the new Star Wars land is. So we were all super pumped about it because the little nerd in me was being soothed. Anyway, so
being caressed
softly and whispering in my ear, beep boop beep boop, and
wait, that's a Muppet.
I don't know why
that's
it was
Beaker.
doing that. That's weird. That's fair. So
Not R2D2.
So we go. So we were originally gonna get up at 5 fucking in the morning, and I was like, Rachel, it is 2:30, and all she kept doing was
take a nap.
All she kept doing was like, shh. I'm like, there's no fucking way. So we compromise, and we get up at 7:30, I believe.
That's helpful.
Fuck, but I get there. We're all still. I don't think I was quite in the hangover stage yet. I was still drunk.
Yeah, you're like buzzed.
I think everybody was, but all of our headaches were kind of coming on. So we're like, we're still doing this.
And the dizzies.
Right, yeah. So I'm like, we're still doing this. So we get up because we paid for a full like day ticket that day. So we're like, we're doing this. So we get up, we get to the park, we get like some fucking tea in. I couldn't drink coffee because it was too fucking hot. And then we go like toward. We just start walking because no one else was up because everyone else was like fucking hammered too. So we're the only ones there and of our group, and we get on one ride, Star Tours, and Rachel's brain like falls out of her goddamn skull, and
because it's virtual reality.
It's the VR stuff, and
Ew,
she can't do it. She could do the Pandora one because it was they have a Pandora ride at Animal Kingdom. I didn't go on that, but she said like it was super soothing. So I think it's like that jarring movement where, and she had a fucking hangover,
and because you're in that virtual reality, like it looks really, but it's also kind of, it fucks up with your senses for sure, especially if you're fucking drunk.
Yeah,
a little
and
bit
it was one of the
still.
older VR rides, so it was super jerky, and I was like, oh god, I need a minute, and she's like, I need several. So we walk around for a little bit. We were gonna go,
and the stars like going by probably did not feel
she
good.
was a champion though. We tried. She's like, because she really wanted to go to Star Wars and everything else, and she's like, but she was trying to rally. We were trying to give her like whatever we could do. We walked over to Toy Story Land.
Do you want a giant lemonade?
Yeah, and nothing was working. So we're like, okay, we'll just. She's like, you guys can stay. I'm like, we're not leaving you because like, what if like something is wrong or something? I mean, I knew she was fine, but like she just needed to go lay down for a little bit. But she didn't think that she was going to get back up. So we go back. We take a hard 2-hour nap, the one where you thought like you slept for 8 hours. Nap. So we're like, okay, we kind of want to go back. She doesn't really get on. She doesn't really get on any other rides. But we get back, which was awesome. She rallied, and we went to Star Wars, which was fucking awesome. She did not get on that ride because it's a VR ride. But you get to fly the fucking Millennium Falcon, which is bananas. You not just fly it, but like you're in control. So that you get like, it's 6 people's in like a pod. So it's only like your group of 6 people. And they have like so they must have like at least 10 rooms that they're like kind of all like smashed together. And it's insane. Like it looks like the cockpit from the set. It's,
oh my God,
it's crazy.
Fun.
It's crazy. So, and then you get like, it's 2 pilots, two gunners, and 2 engineers. So like everyone has an interactive role. So the pilots, you're actually flying it. So anywhere you steer it, it goes. It's crazy.
What if you like fly off into the?
It just hits like, I mean, like it kind of guides. It guides you like where you need to fly, but like you're steering it. So you have somebody on the right that's steering it up and down. And then they control, like, so it tells you, like, go to warp. And so you pull the lever down and, like, you go to warp. And then, like, on the left, and on the left side, you're somebody that's doing, like, the left to right. The back ones are obviously the gunners. And then the other ones are the engineers. And they're like, that's the most important job because you got to push all the buttons because you're fixing the ship as you're hitting things. It's crazy. It's really cool. It's
my God. And it's like so real.
It's super realistic. The graphics are amazing. My sister definitely would have vomited.
Don't go on it if you're drunk.
No, it's pretty bad. Like, or
like on the cusp of hungover.
She said that she doesn't do those anyway. So, but anyway, so we go. But I guess they were telling me, but like the ones that they had, Crystal was a gunner, and somebody else was I can't remember who else was an engineer, but they said it was so immersive that what they have to do, they're not even like watching like so like the watching the screen, which was what I was doing, which was like flying or whatever, because they have to like focus on like their buttons and whatever. So they're like, we kind of wish like
that kind of sucks.
It kind of sucks, but again, like.
But it's dope that you're like, I'm running a ship.
Right. It's really cool. And it's just like, well, I guess you could do it multiple times, but the line is ridiculously long. I mean, for us, it wasn't. It's
brand new, right?
It's brand new. I guess I guess for the people that were there, like they said, like it was not busy. It was like a 50-minute wait, but in other times, like it was a 2-hour wait. So like it was nothing. Yeah. And for me,
because you're a little cripple.
My little cripple boot. I had like a little pass for it, so I just got to scan my little bracelet, and they gave me a time to come back, and we just got to walk around the park. The Star Wars land where they did it was insane. It was anybody that even doesn't appreciate Star Wars would appreciate just the set design because it's like Disney just goes away, and it was really, really well done.
Oh my god!
It almost rivals Harry Potter Land for me because it feels that immersive. Anyway, so that was like a long. I'll probably cut that down because that was really long. So sorry. That's fine. But
I love
the point of the story is that it was
stories.
It was really cute and amazing and beautiful how Crystal proposed to Rachel, and it was awesome. And Star Wars was awesome. The end.
Anyways,
how was
what
your
are
week?
we? Oh, my week was kind of boring.
Okay.
Was it boring?
I guess we don't have to discuss it every time, but
it's fine. We like to catch up.
It's true.
The only what happened to me this week? I went and saw the new Shia LaBeouf movie, The Peanut Butter Falcon. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing.
Okay.
And then I also had a little fall dinner with some of my besties from high school.
Okay.
We got together and had a little potluck fall dinner and drank some wine and cider and shit and played Settlers of Catan.
Oh, I saw that on your, like, I think it was on an Instagram story or something like that.
Yeah. Yep, probably.
It was pretty.
It was really fun. It was a great time. I was in charge of the entree. One of our friends brought apple crisp and butternut squash soup. Mm-hmm. Our other friend brought like salad and cheeses and fucking. It was just like a little potluck, and we just drank and hung out and
nice,
short and sweet.
Yeah. Long.
And now we're here. We're drinking what? What are we drinking today?
Just something simple today. Just gonna get our hydration on with our dehydration, which is some Topo Chico with some vodka. Kept it simple.
Topo Chico, guys, if you don't know what Topo Chico is.
Dude, we were wanting some Topo Chico that morning after our fucking engagement night.
It's a very Texas thing, right?
It's a very Texas thing.
It's delicious.
But
sparkling
you can get it
mineral water.
You can get it all at the Walmarts, and it took me forever to find it at our Walmart because it's not with the water. Do you know where it is? In the Mexican section. They're like, we don't even know what the fuck this is. Just put it over there.
It's fucking sparkling water that's called Topo Chico. Put it with the fucking sparkling water, dumbasses.
No, I couldn't. I'm like, what the fuck? It says it has it in stock. And it's because I wasn't looking in the right aisle. So,
dude,
because people don't know what's up yet. But anyway.
Well, they need to. Mm-hmm. The Texans know.
Oh, they know.
I know Caddy loves some Topo Chico. And Karina. I'm pretty sure we...
Who doesn't? It's delicious. I used to not like it, and then I was like, what the fuck have I been saying?
It has like a little sweetness to it. Mm-hmm.
And
it's good.
So many bubbles.
Chris found a really good new like sparkling water. It's not LaCroix. Ugh. It's like fucking Upland. I don't even know what it's called. But he brought it home yesterday. But it's a like Arnold Palmer sparkling water. So it's like black tea and lemon. Uh-huh. And sparkling water. Uh-huh. And it's fucking really good. And I was really excited when he brought it home yesterday. I was like, this is I don't really like LaCroix that much. Like, I can't just be like, yes, give me LaCroix.
This is 30, you guys, good. Right here.
Yeah. But
we get really excited about different flavor, like different types of sparkling water.
Yeah. And sparkling waters doesn't have sugar. So we need to stop eating sugar, you know?
Yeah.
Also, another thing, I'm trying to be healthy. Yesterday I was trying to be really healthy. And I was like, I'm going to buy shit to make spring rolls. And so I'm just going to make spring rolls for the next couple of days.
Nice.
And have a nice healthy lunch snack option.
Again, yeah.
Food.
Nice.
That's what I ate for dinner last night. It was delicious.
That's because spring rolls they're hard to go. It's hard to go wrong.
And it's all fresh veggies and they're fucking easy and quick to make if you just prep your veggies and then you just put it together and do it.
Done and done. One and done.
Fucking wah spring rolls.
Perfect.
All right, should we start fucking talking?
We should, because it's 30 minutes in. So.
Oh.
Anyway, so I rolled some nostalgia, and you rolled
Whoop,
some
whoop. Food.
All right.
So
Let's get.
we're not going to discuss any more about that. We're just going to get right into it.
Oh
yeah. Hopefully you guys.
Did you hear that little treat for your ears?
Yeah. Did you guys notice anything different about our last episodes during the transitions?
I like that we asked them.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be like.
People respond, Shay, in the DMs.
In the DMs.
Tell us if
true.
you did.
Mm-hmm.
But we added a little special treat to our episode last week, and we're going to keep doing it during
hopefully
in between our segments.
Hopefully it struck that nostalgic chord for you.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic. So we'll do it again this week, and maybe you guys can figure out what it's from. Anyway, when you hear that sound, you know it's time for the next
Turn the page.
segment. So we just want to take a minute to tell you a little bit about Anchor, who hosts our podcast for us. And guess what? It's free, guys. So Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast, and they give you everything you need in one place, again, for free.
Everyone likes free stuff.
And you can use it right from your phone or computer. Even your phone, guys. We use our phones for everything. And now you can make a podcast on it.
Absolutely. And they have like this creation tool, which is really awesome. So even if you don't need like any fancy equipment or anything like that, if you just got a little mic and a little thought in your brain, it has a little creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds terrific. And they'll distribute your podcast for you absolutely for free as well, so it can be heard everywhere. Super painless. It'll go from Spotify to Apple Podcasts to Google Podcasts and much more.
And the best part, guys, you can easily make money from your podcast, which is what we're doing right now.
Right now.
So if you guys want to start a podcast, you totally can. Just download the Anchor button. If you're not already listening to us on Anchor, again, it's free. And
did we say it was free? It's free.
Yeah. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started on your podcast today.
Have at it.
Hello, I just drank a sip of my drink. Just drank a sip of my drink, so sorry. Anyways, okay, guys, what's up? You know what it is. It's Brie.
It's Brie time.
It's time for Brie to spit some truth and knowledge on you. Today we're talking food. That's what I rolled. And we're specifically going to be talking about the flavors of fall. Because we're in fall now. Did you guys know that? Good. I'm sure you can feel it in the air if you're living not in like California or something.
Or Texas.
Even in California, people are feeling a little crisp air.
I believe like in
It's
Texas
like
this last weekend was $100, $100 degrees.
Oh my
Isn't that disgusting?
God. How hot was Florida?
It wasn't bad. It was like 80s, like maybe 90s, but it wasn't. It was actually cooler than Texas, which is weird to me. It's just super. It's just super
climate
humid,
change.
Just humid. It was humid. Anyway,
Well, anyways, we're gonna talk about
pumpkin spice lattes.
That's all we're gonna talk about. Just pumpkin spice lattes.
The thing I hate the most in the world. No joke. I actually don't like them.
We are going to talk about pumpkin for a second, but only for a quick second because obviously pumpkin's a fall flavor. But I'm going to talk about just seasonal vegetables and fruits for this season, and be sure to look out for them in your grocery stores because they're going to be the best tasting stuff right now. And it just is better to eat seasonally because it's just usually the fresher shit. It's not like, oh, I don't know.
Okay, thanks, Martha.
Yeah, I'm Martha Stewart today.
Jesus.
I'm also going to just talk about different ways you can cook different vegetables and fruits and my favorite ways to prepare these special little things. And maybe you'll learn about some veggies you never even heard of.
I will.
You're like, I don't know how the fuck to make anything with that. So tell me, Brie, and I'm gonna.
Perfect.
Okay, so first of all, what makes a fall vegetable or fruit? Usually just a vegetable, a fall vegetable. And so fall vegetables are just known as cool season vegetables. So they grow in the cooler seasons because fall's colder than summer. Bet you guys didn't know that. Just kidding. So they grow best in cooler temperatures of the spring and the fall. So
Makes
these
sense.
vegetables also grow really well in spring because it's like just starting to become a little bit warmer, and it's like around the temperatures of like 50 to 70 degrees is like when they like to grow.
When they flourish.
And they also can handle light frosts, unlike summer vegetables that fucking
They're like,
get fucked up when it frosts. You have to pick all your tomatoes and chilies and zucchinis and eggplants before the first frost when you have a garden or something, because literally if you let them sit out in one frost, all your vegetables are fucked. Like your tomatoes are just like waterlogged. They're
they're just nasty.
They don't come back after that. These fall vegetables, they like that and they can handle that. They don't like the extreme heat. So that's why they grow so well in the fall.
Whichever one, PSA, if you're in Colorado, that might happen on Thursday. So
Yeah.
get your veggies inside.
Yeah, I heard it was supposed to snow on Friday.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, already.
No, I heard it was supposed to be Thursday.
Oh, Thursday now?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's just creeping up on us. So, specifically the vegetables in fall are grown for their leaves, stalks, bulbs, and roots as opposed to their fruit. So technically most summer vegetables are a fruit because it's a seed-bearing structure that develops from the ovary of a flowering plant.
Just like
whereas
I
vegetables or all other plant parts are the roots, leaves, and stems. And that's what makes a fruit different from a vegetable,
Wait a minute.
guys.
Can we back up? I didn't know plants had ovaries.
Girl.
I don't
They
know.
do.
This is probably why I don't have a thumb. I'm not
The
very nice.
stamen of a flower's like a dick, girl.
Well, I knew that. I just didn't know about. They're
They
not.
have ovary. There's female plants.
Well, I
we
know
need
that,
to-
but like they're not really.
Wait till
called
we talk about
ovaries.
weed one day because we're going to talk all about that.
We'll bring your boyfriend on.
Weed is basically just sexually frustrated female plants, and they just grow nuggets of weed, and that's what you smoke. That's basically what weed is.
They're
Because they can't have sex with a male plant, and they're like, fuck! So they just grow beautiful, wonderful flowers.
I don't think I've ever heard weed described that way, and I think that might be my favorite thing ever.
that's technically
I think that might
correct.
be my. I'm like, wow, it's like my dating life. That's.
You're just a little cannabis plant looking for a male.
I'm just like, I'm so itchy.
Got the itch. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that's kind of pretty much how it works with weed. And with every plant, there's females and males and all that shit.
I know. I shouldn't be such an asshole to think that plants don't have feelings.
They have feelings.
And
They like to
emotions.
be sung to. They like to be talked positively to.
I hope
Anywho.
they get bought dinner first before the.
So let's talk about Sorry. I am drunk now. Jesus, how much vodka did you put in
I
that?
didn't put that much. I only put like. Oh, maybe I did put a couple shots in there. I put 2 knuckles worth.
Perfect. So let's stop talking about plant sex, baby.
I'm sorry.
And we'll
I'm
talk
just-
about the different types of fall vegetables. and
Okay.
plants.
Stop
So
yelling at me.
mainly it's leafy vegetables like to grow in the fall. So like lettuces, spinaches, Swiss chard, stuff like that. Cruciferous vegetables.
That sounds like something out of like, I don't know, a villain out of Winnie the Pooh.
Cruciferous. It's like a fucking villain from Harry Potter.
Yeah, it just sounds like one of like the Hufflepuffs and
Cruciferous!
Yes, or spell.
That's a spell. Cruciferous vegetables, which are broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, collards, Asian greens, stuff like that.
Okay.
They can actually freeze solid for a few days and bounce right back when they thaw. So like they love that cold. They actually get sweeter if it's like that. It's also like
They're like
I'm
some-
pretty sure that's how muscat and that's a type of grape, but like sweeter wines and stuff, it's because like the
Ugh.
like ice wines they're called. It's when the grapes freeze and then they come back from it. They
makes my teeth
they make them
itch.
sweeter.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I don't like it.
there's also root vegetables that thrive in the winter or in the fall. So carrots, beets, parsnips, stuff like that.
That's interesting. You would think that that wouldn't be a thing.
Because they grow underground. Like
But
the greens
still-
don't do great, obviously, but the
But I
greens.
guess maybe that makes sense. Like
they
you-
like it being a little cold.
Nice, like it's like a little dirt refrigerator.
Yeah, and they.
Yeah.
they
I don't know.
yes, exactly. Stalk vegetables also grow well, like celery and fennel, and then alliums, which are garlic, leeks, onions, and chives. Those
So
kinds
is
of
that why,
vegetables, too.
like, I mean, everyone likes a good stew in the wintertime, but is that why? Is it just another, because it's all nice and warm and just comfort food, but like, is it better also because you cook like a lot of root vegetables in it?
I mean, I'm sure, like, back in the day, like, yeah, because they had to live off of the things that grew seasonally. I know, but that's
interesting,
so, like,
though.
yeah, that's probably why stews are always carrots, celery, onions, like,
because they're actually,
the
it's not
mirepoix,
just
like
because it's, like, makes a good stew. It's also just because, like,
that was what's available. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Isn't that neat?
I'm learning.
I know, guys. I love talking about the food.
But I had no fucking idea. That actually makes, it's just interesting how, like, God, I mean, I might be a little buzzed, but, like, it's just amazing how it's just like how the earth, like, it's all fucking connected, man.
I know, guys.
It's
we
like
need to take care of it.
knows.
It's natural cycles.
It knows. It's like,
It's
hey,
a
we know that you
beautiful
need things,
thing.
human beings, to, like, be warm, and, like, here's all these great things that are going to make a great flavor profile, and they're in fucking season.
And when they're in season, they have more nutrients in them. They have more minerals and vitamins and things like that, because that's when they're supposed to be growing.
It's like she's trying to take care of us. Exactly. And we just keep
Mother Earth
stepping on her face.
Exactly. Just anyway. So now we're gonna talk about
I'll stop talking.
some of my favorite different winter vegetables in each category and how I like to cook them, different flavors they go with. So one of my favorite books I've ever bought is this thing called the Flavor Bible. And it really, especially like early on in my chefing career, like the Flavor Bible basically is like an index of different ingredients. So like winter squash or broccoli or whatever. And so you like look those up and it'll list so like a bunch of different flavors that pair well with that ingredient. So like it's really helpful when sometimes when you're like creating different menus or different, you're like, well, I want to use broccoli because it's in season, but what different things can I use? Like that's not like, you know, the basic, you know, it just kind of helps you spark different like ideas on what kind of to create as a dish. So that's called the Flavor Bible. Even if you're not a chef, it's a fucking amazing book to have just to like, if you enjoy cooking, like
that's actually,
also too, like, especially if you're getting a bunch of stuff from CSAs or like farms and stuff and you get weird shit that you're like, I've never made anything with kohlrabi. Like you can look it up in the Flavor
like
Bible and be like, oh, what flavors go well with this vegetable?
But see, I would have been like a dumbass like in my 20s. I've been like, oh, what goes well with macaroni and cheese? And they're like, you're an idiot.
It's just certain ingredients, Shay, okay?
I know, but like I would have tried it. Like maybe something will pair up with the naturalness of the macaroni and cheese that I got going on.
Butternut squash goes well with macaroni and cheese.
Actually, that sounds pretty dope.
Anyway, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Flavor Bible because
that shit's legit. It's amazing. I don't have it, but I've seen it a time or two with the vinos.
The time or two. So let's talk about one of my first favorite ingredients for fall, which is winter squash. So I'm going to talk about a couple different kinds. So two of my favorites are kabocha squash and red curry squash. Have you ever heard of those?
Have never.
So kabocha squash is like usually either it's like really, it's kind of like wide and spherical, and it's either like green with like light green spots or red with light like orange spots. Sometimes it's even like half red, half green. It kind of looks like it's like this pumpkin-y shape, but it's a little more like wide, sphere-y.
You're describing it like something out of Whoville, and it's cracking me up.
There are so many different types of squash. We grew a squash called a pink banana squash one time, and it was like 3 feet long and literally looked like a giant banana, but it was like tan colored. Like there's so many different kinds of vegetables. It is incredible. I love it.
Interesting. Yeah, you do love it.
That's a
I love
kabocha
it. You
squash.
Love it.
A red curry squash, spelled Kuri, is actually a teardrop shape, and it's like...
He was very trendy back in 2010. His mom was like, I'm going to make you different.
You gonna be called Kuri, okay, Kesha?
With a silent
With
Q.
a fucking dollar sign?
Yeah. She don't got that no more. She classy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's a teardrop shaped squash, and it's like a reddish orange color, and both the flesh of kabocha and red curry are like really deep, rich, orangey colored.
That's pretty tight. That's pretty tight.
So kabocha squash and red curry squash goes really well with chili, cinnamon, cream, coconut milk. I love making curries with any kind of squash, really. And curry is like an easy, really delicious thing you can make at your house really easily. With pretty much any kind of vegetable you like. So, I also really like using it for sauces and making soups with it. It has a really good flavor. Like, obviously most people have had butternut squash, which is also another one of my favorite squashes. But it has a kind of like a deeper, richer flavor than like a butternut would, I feel like. A little more like, I don't know. Like, it tastes more red, if that makes any, like, it's like just deeper flavor.
Tastes like burning. Like, I don't
Tastes like red.
It tastes like red.
No, it just tastes deeper.
If you're tasting colors, you might either be on acid or having a stroke. So, whichever.
I also like using it for pasta fillings, which any squash I really like too. And it also goes really well with different like cheeses and stuff like that.
I do like me some squash.
Another one of my favorite winter squashes is delicata squash, and you can actually leave the skin on it. It's kind of like in between a winter squash and a summer squash. So the difference between those two is that a summer squash is like, they're not as like, they're not as heavy, and they just like, they cook really fast. They're like, the flesh is a lot lighter and has more like liquid, like more moisture in it. Winter squash is a lot harder, and they just obviously can handle the winter coldness. So that's why they're a harder squash than like a zucchini or something like that.
Right.
So delicata squash, though, you can actually leave the seeds on them, and they're usually yellow, and they have like green stripes, so they're really pretty when you leave the skins on and just like roast them, and you can just eat them like that.
That's crazy.
I also like pairing squashes with like pomegranate seeds or like something sweet and different nuts and things like that. Also, brown butter is always a perfect pairing with squash.
I do like me some brown butter.
Yeah, and all you have to do is just cook brown butter. To make brown butter, guys, all you have to do is put butter on the stove.
You just take Shay's finger and you put it in some butter, and it's brown butter.
And it's brown.
It's brown.
That's all you do.
Yes.
Also, I just wanted to point this out. So pumpkins also, we all know about pumpkins in the fall. And actually, did you know there's no botanical distinction that makes a pumpkin a pumpkin? It's pretty much a squash. It's like a different kind of squash. So there's squash, pumpkins, gourds. Gourds you don't really eat. They're usually really hard, but they're all part of the same family.
Right.
And pumpkin's pretty much a winter squash.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you know.
Shit.
They're part of the cucurbita family.
Cucubitas.
Chris,
Cucubitas.
you can stop that. He was calling me. Anyways, moving on to the next.
He loves you.
He does. He better.
Yeah.
8 years later. Motherfucker. Just kidding. All right, so next, this is probably my favorite ingredient, like, of all. And it's winter greens, or greens are really...
Not like the gum?
No. No, not winter fresh.
It was wintergreen. There's a wintergreen gum.
Oh.
It's delicious. Anyway, go on. It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm talking about greens.
I know.
All motherfucking types of greens.
I know that.
When you're buying greens, guys, don't get greens that are kind of wilty and sad looking. Get them when they're like kind of firm and they're still looking like
attracting a mate.
You just picked them. Like, if you're buying a green, if it's all like wilty and sad and it feels kind of like weirdly soft and not kind of firm, and like don't get those ones. Get the ones that are nice, good color still. If they have a couple holes in them, that's fine. That means they're natural and the bugs were eating them. Just kidding.
Fair.
You don't want those, but it's fine if they have like a hole or two.
Just get them like, you
Just
know, they
get
got some pep in their step still.
They got some pep in their step, exactly. Also, another thing about greens is like it's suggested like eat as many greens as you want. They are so good for you. They're like one of the best things that you can eat for your body. They do so many good things, so many nutrients, so many minerals, and it's best to eat them as fresh as possible. So let's talk about some of my favorite motherfucking greens. My favorite green, well, I have a couple, but this is probably my favorite of all time, is the collard green.
Just get on. You're good.
You can boil, braise, steam, stir fry collard greens. Basically, I like to take most of the stem off when I cook collard greens. So you could cut it like a collard green has a stem and then a giant fucking leaf, usually pretty big. I don't like to get them when they're super big because then they're pretty, like, you should cook them longer.
Right.
But like a medium-sized leaf is what you're looking for when you look for collard greens.
Right.
And my favorite way to cook collards is basically I like to caramelize a bunch of onions and cook bacon,
Nice.
and then put the greens with that bacon fat and the caramelized onions and just like cook them down with a little apple cider or like beer, and then add a little apple cider vinegar because they're kind of like they'll take on that fattiness of the bacon or whatever you're cooking them in.
Right.
And a little acidity when you're cooking collard greens, I feel like is just like
The tits.
you need it.
Yeah.
And you just cook them for 20-30 minutes. Like they don't, if you cook them pretty quick, they're pretty tough. They're they're really hardy greens, so like they can take some cook time.
Right.
But yeah, that's my favorite way. Yeah.
Nice.
Onions, bacon, and a little vinegar, and either cooking them in apple cider or like chicken stock or something like that is the best way to eat that for me. Next on my list is arugula. Is a great fall vegetable. It grows really well in those. It loves the cold. It hates the heat. If certain green, like if a green gets too hot, it'll bolt, which means it'll just automatically start producing flowers, and from then on, it's like you can't.
Right.
You don't really want to eat it after that. It's like not as good and not as tender and sweet. Anyways, arugula is mainly used in Italian and Mediterranean cuisines, but I love using it in salads, obviously, but I also like to wilt it, which means like you're not sauteing it for a couple minutes. You're just kind of like putting it on some hot heat for a little bit and letting it just kind of cook in the warmthness of all the other ingredients. So like it kind of softens it, but it still has the flavor. Arugula you don't want to cook for too long because it'll lose its flavor and its color and it's mushy and kind of like spinach or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. Spinach is also a little fall and spring vegetable too.
I do love me some spinach.
So probably my second favorite greens are mustard greens. They're like super spicy and
Sound like it's up my alley.
delicious. So a couple different kinds of mustard greens are tatsoi, which is an Asian green. It almost kind of looks like spinach, but it's super spicy and has kind of a bigger leaf. Mizuna is also a type of mustard green, which I don't know if you've heard of it. It kind of looks like arugula, but it's more like pokey and spiky leaves.
Right.
It's a lot more tender than like the tatsoi.
Right.
And it's like a little leaf like the arugula.
Right.
Also they make there's like Dijon mustard greens are super spicy and like
That sounds
taste
delicious.
like Dijon. Yeah. My favorite way to cook mustard greens is literally just wilting them, like getting a pan really hot with like a little butter or oil, and just like throwing them in the hot oil and just wilting them for like 30 seconds is my favorite way to cook mustard greens.
Sounds bomb.
I love pairing it with fish. They're so good with fish. Also, like pork obviously is delicious. And also pairing it with different like a gastrique or something sweet. With the mustard greens is really good too. Like, yeah, I love mustard greens a lot. When I worked at the restaurant, I used to get them all the time. There's this farm in town, Raisin Roots Farm. Ben grows the best mustard greens I've ever eaten. And they're like, I think they're Dijon ones, one of the varieties he grows, and they're like really dark purple, but then like bright green at the same time, and they're so pretty.
They're delicious too, apparently.
Next, let's go to the cruciferous vegetables. So one of these is a crowd pleaser, Brussels sprouts. Also, did you guys know that Brussels sprouts are Brussels sprouts?
I didn't know that.
It's actually plural. The first
Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts. It's not Brussels sprouts. It's Brussels sprouts.
Oh. They're Brussels.
Brussels.
They're Brussels.
And they grow on a giant stalk. Have you ever seen how they grow?
Yeah, they're really pretty.
Dope. They literally grow on a giant stalk, and then they have the little sprouts.
Do you ever like roast
the
them?
Stalk. Oh yeah.
Like just with the stalk on the thing, like a stalk on like a grill or something. I don't know. I'm just asking.
I've never done that, but I'm pretty sure you do. People do that. Because, yeah, you
Sounds
can just kind
amazing.
of turn them around, and it's not like the stock's getting super cooked.
Dude,
and you can probably
especially
eat
with people that are like this health conscious these days, like you should totally fucking capitalize that on like a state fair. People would buy that shit.
Also, they stay way fresher if they're on the stalk. So if you see them on the stalk in the store and you also see them loose, like
Get the
they're
one on the
probably
stalk.
going to be fresher. Like also Brussels sprouts, a lot of times like they'll pick them and they sit forever. So like if they're kind of squishy, like Brussels sprouts should be firm when you're looking for them. And sometimes you can feel that they're squishy and that just means they're not very fresh. You can still use them at that point, but like you want them to be kind of firm. Like when you're looking for pretty much any vegetable, you want it to be firm. If it's
Right.
floppy and like, you know,
Like
you
a
don't
dick.
want that. If you don't want no floppy dick, you don't want no floppy vegetables. Okay.
Done.
I mean, you could start with the floppy.
I mean, you gotta like maybe.
but it's hard to bring a vegetable back from floppy. You
It's
know what I
true.
mean?
It's not
Unless
a corpse.
Sometimes you can shock them in cold water, but that
That's
doesn't work
true.
for other floppy things.
And it doesn't. That usually makes it go. Makes it
Floppier.
smaller.
Anyways, Brussels sprouts. You can boil them, braise them, steam them, roast them. You can fucking put them in salads. I love making Brussels sprout slaw, like just cutting them
That
up
shit's
really
good.
thin and just using that instead of like a cabbage or something. Obviously love roasting them. Frying Brussels sprouts are delicious. If you're going to fry Brussels sprouts, obviously you're going to wash them and stuff. Make sure you dry them out a little bit because they hold some of that moisture if you're washing them. And then if you fry them, they're going to fucking really explode on you in a fryer because they have a bunch of water in them still. So just after I wash my Brussels sprouts, I like to let them kind of either lay out like in a even layer, like on a towel or something, or just like let them sit in your strainer for a little bit, shake them a little bit. So like, because the little Brussels sprouts capture moisture inside.
Yeah.
Also, like,
all their little leaves.
also love frying. If you have like an excess of leaves, frying the leaves of the Brussels sprout is a really good garnish, and like they get really crunchy and yummy.
Little chippy chips.
Also, just sweet and savory stuff with Brussels sprouts is so good. Like a balsamic reduction, obviously, or obviously bacon and Brussels sprouts, or like honey and Brussels sprouts are really good. Like the sweet, savory, and the caramelizedness of them is always delicious. Next up is broccoli. Broccoli's probably one of my favorite things in the world.
That's because it's delicious.
It is delicious, and I think it gets a bad rap sometimes, but
Why?
that's all right.
I could eat broccoli for every single meal.
I know. I fucking love it, and it's really good for you as
But
well.
I'm a basic bitch. I could eat it just steamed.
Yes, you can. One of my favorite ways to eat broccoli is just with like lemon and olive oil and garlic. That's it.
Dude, I blew my mind. Like I blew my friend Rosie's mind last night, and she's like, "Oh, you're adding like lemon to the broccoli." I'm like, "Yeah,
bitch.
it's pretty much my only recipe." So there you go. My only secret of the trade.
Yeah, bitch.
Yeah.
Also,
Recipe, that's not a
making
recipe.
broccoli pesto is really good. Yeah, instead
Never
of
tried
using
that.
like basil or something. By the way, guys, you can make pesto with anything you fucking want. Any kind of nut, any kind of green or thing you want to make, you can make pesto with, okay? Just so y'all know. I also like putting in curries and with pasta, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the
my
best.
favorite way to eat broccoli is just like the way my mom used to make it. And it's just
Same
like
thing with my mom. Used
fucking
to make it. Yeah.
steamed with lemon and garlic
Yeah.
and olive oil.
Yeah. I didn't even put
Classic
olive oil on
Italian.
mine. We just put just steamed with just lemon and salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Yeah, it is.
So good.
Oh, and then also with some chili too. I love broccoli with a little spice. But we know some of you guys are wimps, aka Shay.
It's me.
Um,
I'll be like, "Can I have some milk with my spicy broccoli?"
yeah.
I did that one time with we had it was mainline, and they had actually a really good gumbo, but it was too spicy for me. So I was at the bar and I was eating it. I think I was with my friend Michaela, and I was eating it, and like I was having like tears coming down my face. And he's like, the bartender was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Can I have some milk?" And he was like, "Milk?" And I go, "Yeah, do you have some?" He's like, "Yeah, do you want a kid's cup?" I was like, "No."
Yes.
Yes,
I don't want to spill it because my mouth's so hot.
so hot. So yeah, that was probably one of my most embarrassing moments, and I wasn't even 30 then. So there
That
you
is
go.
a special-
Anyway,
That's hilarious.
it's pathetic, is what it is.
really adorable. So next on my list is bok choy, which is a type of cabbage. Actually, it's an Asian type of cabbage. And you can boil it, you can braise it, you can eat it raw, you can stir fry it up. My favorite way to cook bok choy, so it comes in kind of like a longer, like, it's like a short, long little cabbage thing, has like long little stems, then has like little leaves on top.
Yeah.
One of my favorite way to cook bok choy is literally slicing it in half lengthwise and just like searing it, salt, pepper, oil, just searing it, and then pairing anything with that, making different sauces with it.
Nice.
But it also goes really well with obviously like soy sauce, mushrooms, chilies, coconut milk,
All the things.
It's fucking delicious.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I mean, you can pretty much use it however you want, like you would a cabbage or something like that. So next on the vegetable list, and my last one I'm going to talk about is our root vegetables.
Finally.
So first on my list is parsnips. Little fun fact about parsnips, always cook them, don't eat them raw. You probably could, but I don't think it's very good for you raw. You always should cook parsnips.
I never really thought to eat
You
them
can pretty
raw.
much cook them any way the fuck you want. Yeah, they're not very good raw anyways. They're like weird. Also, sometimes to me, they smell like bananas.
I thought you were going to say like they're poisonous if you eat them raw. Like
I don't know if they're poisonous, but I don't think you can digest them very well.
Well, it's just like for me, like any vegetable, I'm gonna cook because I can't eat any of that shit raw. It's just like when you get like the little thing of like vegetables and like ranch, where the thing where they give you way too much ranch and you're like, I'm gonna have a vegetable with my ranch, and you just dunk it in. I can't eat like the little broccolis or the little cauliflowers raw. It just tastes disgusting to me.
But some people, it like fucks up their stomach if they eat that kind
really?
of shit raw,
I
too.
just think it just tastes disgusting.
Oh, I love that shit.
You like
broccoli raw?
You fucking monster.
Oh my god.
that
I love
calling
broccoli raw. I love Brussels sprouts raw. I love that shit raw.
You can eat Brussels sprouts raw?
Girl, I told you can eat them in a salad. You just shave them up. And you can shave them up and make them with. Have you ever had coleslaw? You can make like a
I guess
slaw.
I'm just thinking of you like just taking a Brussels sprout round and just like.
I mean, I don't eat like an apple.
Right.
But I'll eat it raw.
Well, that's fair. Like, because that's like a salad.
Slice it. Yeah.
I mean, that's like a salad. Like, that's different than like eating a.
Like not dipping it in ranch and eating it.
Right,
Like a
but, like, I
broccoli.
could-
But I'll do that with
yeah.
broccoli for sure. And cauliflower.
I can't eat that raw.
Oh, fuck.
It just is like eating on a bush.
By the way, if you didn't guess, cauliflower is a cruciferous vegetable as well.
Oh, I did. I like me some crucifix.
Anyways, back to parsnips.
Okay, sorry.
It's a sweeter root vegetable. They get very sweet, and literally a lot of times, like cut into a parsnip, they kind of smell like bananas sometimes, like a little banana-y.
Really?
I don't know. They kind of, yeah. Anyway, they're not a banana, but sometimes. Who knows what chemicals and weird flavonoids are in there? Maybe they have similar flavonoids like a banana. The thing that flavors food. Flavonoids.
Flavonoids.
And
I like
weed. There's flavonoids in weed too, guys. That's why they smell different things.
And Lisa Frank stickers.
And yeah, Lisa Frank stickers have flavonoids if you lick them. Anywho, so parsnips pair really well with different kinds of spices. They can pair well with maple flavors.
Nice.
You can definitely use them in sweet and savory. I've seen like parsnip custards that people make for desserts, but I mainly use parsnips in savory
A lot when I eat
applications.
parsnips. What does a parsnip taste like?
A parsnip tastes like it tastes kind of like a sweet potato.
Oh, but
And
I don't think I've ever had it, so I don't know.
Girl, I love parsnips. You've never had my parsnip purees? I love making parsnip purees. And
I don't
like
think I ever had. Did
serving
you ever
that
do it
with
on
like
the?
beef or pork.
Did you ever make it on the menu when I was there?
I don't think.
That's probably why I've never
I
had
did
it.
have what had parsnip puree on it?
I don't think
I
I had
definitely
it.
did a lot of specials with parsnip purees.
Then I probably never had
I
because
feel
I
like
never
we did
touched
a
those
parsnip
specials.
puree for one of my menu items, but I
don't know if I
Don't
ever
know if you
had
were
it.
there.
I don't think I was there because I don't remember that. Because I probably would have at least tasted it then, but I don't think I've ever really eaten parsnips.
might have been with scallops.
Ooh, that sounds fucking.
Oh no,
dope.
that was fennel. Anyway,
sorry.
so parsnips. I also like making. I've made pasta fillings with parsnips. Also making like a hash with parsnips, like just dicing them up and like cooking them with like some bacon and just like cooking them like you would potatoes or something. It's really good like that.
Dope.
Yeah. Also, in my flavor Bible, it said parsnips pair really well with pears, which I've never tried before. So that's another. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to pair some parsnips with pears.
Yeah.
Pears
and parsnips with pears. Next, Dr. Seuss over here.
Next up on my root vegetable list is turnips. And basically, I didn't say this, but if you didn't guess, a root vegetable is basically like a vegetable that grows at the root of the plant instead of like on top of the plant, like a sprout or something.
Okay.
It grows under the ground, a root vegetable, where the roots go.
Thank you for breaking that down.
Did you get it?
Jesus
Do you guys
Christ.
get it? Okay, so my next one is turnips. I love turnips. A lot of people. That's another. I feel like underaged.
I found the vodka. Wow.
Underutilized vegetable. You can boil them, braise them, deep fry them, roast them, steam them. They're kind of similar to So turnips are spicy and a little sweet. And they're kind of like a really hearty radish type vegetable.
Right.
So like they're not as like they're a little heartier than like what a radish would be, I guess.
Right.
But they're very similar in flavor. My favorite way to cook turnips is like quartering them and braising them in butter, which obviously how could that be bad? But just literally boiling them in butter, like simmering them in butter till they're soft. And then from there you can like sear them and get a nice caramelization on them, and they're so good with like steak or meats or just by themselves.
Yeah.
I also like to cook them with greens and fucking bacon. And they're really good just roasted even too, just with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper. That's real good. Next root vegetable on my list is rutabagas. Have you ever eaten a rutabaga, Shay?
No, I thought it was type of car.
That's a Winnebaga, but that's close.
I'm an idiot.
You could probably make a Winnebaga out of rutabagas.
I mean,
They're pretty. They get really big. They're like a giant turnip, but they're like more potato-y than like a turnip would be. But they're also still not as starchy as a potato. But they're usually big, and they're usually like purple on the top, like little light purpley lavender color, and then they're white.
They sound gorgeous.
Ish, like creamy color. They're really yummy. I love making soups with these. They're really good to make like gratins with. So like potato gratin, which is like layered thin sliced potatoes and cheese and cream. Yeah, you can do that. You can substitute a rutabaga instead of potatoes, or you can mix them. Right. I love doing different root vegetables in a gratin, like all sorts, like potatoes, rutabagas, fucking the next one I'm about to say, which is a celery root. Ooh. Have you ever had a celery root or celeriac?
I've heard of a celiac.
Yeah, they're different. Well, a celiac can eat celeriac because it's gluten-free, because it's a fucking vegetable.
What?
And if you don't know that vegetables are gluten-free,
you're an idiot.
You need to get a grip on your life.
They're like, is this gluten-free? It's a chip and it's not a... Yeah.
I just hate when that's advertised. Like,
yeah.
It's like what's sugar. Sugar's gluten-free. It's like, yo. If you're gluten-free and you don't know what gluten is, you should probably figure out what the fuck gluten is.
Wait a minute. Wait. Where do you see that advertisement?
Like on raw sugar, it like has an emblem like gluten-free or
I've
like
never
vegan.
Noticed that.
It's like,
That's ridiculous.
it's fucking vegan. Like if you're a vegan and you don't know what it is to be vegan, like
this is just the sugar company going, fuck it. I mean, I don't even know what else
maybe
to do.
Maybe they'll get more people to fucking buy it. It's just that's just my riff on advertising.
I just have never noticed that before because I've never looked for that because it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I don't look for it's ridiculous.
I guess I don't look at my labels very well.
That's fine. I do a lot. You should look at your labels.
I know I'm an
so
idiot.
You know there's not arsenic in your shit.
Okay, yes.
It's labeled
arsenic.
It's labeled aspartame. I don't know. Actually, I've heard that they like renamed aspartame so people don't look for it anymore, but it's like
they're crafty fucks.
Yeah, and like that's fucking legal.
If I see the only things I try to I buy I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. I'm not, sometimes it's really, really hard to find stuff that doesn't have a chemical in it. If I don't see, if it looks like a word that I don't know, I don't buy it because it's just like, what the fuck is that? I have no idea. Mm-hmm. So, yeah,
it's fucked up. Anywho. Oh, one thing I wanted to say about rutabaga. So in my flavor Bible, it said it pairs well with vanilla and raisins, which I've never tried together.
Really?
So that's another thing for me. That's why I like the flavor Bible. It's like, what? This pairs with what? Never heard of that. Celery root is dope because it literally looks like a mandrake to me. Have you ever seen a celery root? A mandrake?
I don't think I've ever seen a celery root. And
So a mandrake from Harry Potter. Like
I was
the
like
thing
gonna
they
say,
pull out
like,
of the ground
that's all
that
I
screams.
can see. J.K. has ruined everything for me because that's all I see is just a screaming root. Just like, don't.
Well,
cut
that's
me.
kind of what it looks like. Maybe the head of a mandrake, because they're all like really weirdly hairy, and they have like, it's a really thick skin on the outside. You definitely have to peel them before you eat them. It's not
Right.
something you can just wash off. It's like you don't want to eat the peel of a celery root.
Right.
It's literally the root of a celery stalk.
Right.
So it smells like celery, but it like has the texture of like a turnip or like turnip potato-y kind of thing. But yeah, it like is really weird and hairy and like has weird, like the bottom of the roots are like really tubey. So, and they're like kind of circle around each other. It almost looks like a brain on the bottom. It's a
Interesting.
weird ass looking plant. So if you guys are in Whole Foods or they have them at King Soopers or whatever your grocery store is, look for celery root if you've never seen one, because they're
Go do
really
it and
cool
take a
looking.
selfie and then tag us in it, please.
Exactly.
I'm not even kidding. Do it, please.
Do it. Be like, I found a celery root. And my favorite way to
scavenger
eat
hunt to
celery
your
root-
health.
Yes. So I love just pureeing celery root. It's a great substitution for like potatoes or something like that. I love just cooking them in cream and butter. Obviously, anything cooked in cream and butter is delicious. And I really like pairing it with poultry or like beef.
It's
And I
what's for
really
dinner.
like making soups with them. You can add them to soups as just another
yeah.
vegetable. And I really like making chips with them. Like a little, like you fry a potato chip, fry a little celery root chip. It's like literally like a little celery fucking potato chip, basically.
Right. Nice.
It's delicious. So now we're going to talk about some fall fruits, and then I'll fucking shut the fuck up. Okay?
Okay.
I was like, this isn't going to be long, but then it's talking about
I was like,
food,
you're
and I
like 2
love to do
pages,
that.
which is great. This is great because I think mine's gonna be pretty. I think we'll see. Shit. Anyway.
All right, so fruits in season right now. Did you know table grapes are really in season right now?
Yeah,
Like,
because they're fucking
they're
delicious.
so good and sweet right now. They love that cold weather. It helps them become more sweet.
Yeah. I'm pretty partial to the red ones though.
Oh yeah, me too.
I used to be partial. It was interesting because I used to be partial to the green ones, but I don't like them now. They taste sour.
I love them all now. I used to only like the red ones, but now I love all of them. They're so good. Also, those cotton candy grapes that are apparently not GMO are crazy.
Dude, I don't.
They have to be.
I've seen your friend Mitch post about them, and I'm just like, I can't do it, man. It's just. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
They're so sweet and taste like cotton candy, and I don't understand.
And my aunt bought some, and I was
because
like,
they're cold in colder weather.
Oh, I'm gonna try them. And I'm like, this is disgusting, but I don't like cotton candy. So.
Oh, you're dumb.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
you're stupid.
You're
Perfect.
stupid. You don't know what good is. That's good.
I love cotton candy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so grapes I use in sweet and savory ways. I mainly only eat grapes like by themselves, and then otherwise I'll use them kind of like in a savory way. So I love roasting grapes like
those
with
are good.
rosemary or different like thyme. Oh my god, so good. You can even roast them like on the on their little vines, and they look really pretty on a plate. Obviously, you don't eat the vine.
I mean, you have to explain that
could.
to people, though.
You
could.
Then I think I did a dish at Cafe Vino with like roasted grapes and lamb and
That sounds
some
pretty
other
dope.
stuff, and like they're really good like just stewed. Like I like cooking them down in like balsamic vinegar or like
Nice.
something like that. I've even smoked grapes before, and that's really good. That smoky flavor on them, and then just like cooking them for a little bit, like they kind of like pop a little bit, and they're warm, but they're still like crunchy.
Fucking bomb.
I also love just like putting them on crostini with like ricotta or something like that. But yeah, obviously they're really good right now.
Nice.
Next on my list, fucking motherfucking apples, duh. We have amazing apples in Colorado too. In the Palisade area, we get some good apples. Did you know that there's over 7,500 different types of apples?
No. I thought there was like maybe 20.
And there's 2,500 varieties of apples grown in the United States alone. Isn't that insane?
I don't know if I should feel good about that or intrigued about that.
Like, I don't know if that's They've been GMO'd for a while.
That's what I'm saying. Is like that's what I hear in my brain. It's like
because it's really easy to it's really easy to like graft different trees to each other to like get different flavor combinations, different sizes. So like they've been growing. It's like one of the first cultivated fruits is what they say. Like first cultivated like trees. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, and they would just like fall to the ground, and then obviously the apples would ferment from that, and I think people would eat those apples and they'd get fucking drunk or something. There's a really cool documentary called The Botany of Desire that talks all about it, which I'll talk about one day because that's a dope. It's all about apples, weed, tulips, and marijuana and potatoes, and like how it's like changed the shape of our history basically.
Right.
Anyways, apples are a really huge part of our culture. My favorite apple, I think, in the whole world right now, at least from what I've tried, is a Honeycrisp apple. And we have really good Honeycrisps in Colorado, too.
Honeycrisp and Pink Ladies are really, really good.
Ooh, yeah.
But when, like, Fiji apples are in, when they're super sweet, oh, they're so flippin' good. Oh, my God.
One of my favorite things to do with apples is just make fucking apple butter. Put that shit on everything. I don't know if I've
ever made apple butter.
And also, I leave the skins on. I love the skins of apples, and I think like even when I make apple pie, sometimes I'll leave the skins on because I like the texture of the skin when it's cooked.
So you do.
Also, when I make apple butter, definitely leave the skins on. It gets you a darker color, and I feel like it gives you a deeper apple flavor. Makes sense. I don't always leave the skins on when I make pie, but
it just makes it a little tougher. But
I just like that. Good. I like that texture personally.
Right.
And that's what makes a chef a chef. You just like your different things,
like
right?
Your different shit.
Also adding it to like different squash soups is really good, or like curries. It's really good with those kinds of things because obviously it can take some spice. Next on my list, motherfucking figs. I love figs. When I was little, I used to have a fig tree I grew up in California. We used to have a giant fig tree in our yard that we would pick fucking figs from and eat. And I used to, it was like,
I've never eaten a raw fig.
Oh my God, they're so good. That's like my favorite way to eat a fig.
The closest thing I've eaten as a fig is like a fig Newton. Girl. I'm not even going to lie.
Have you ever had you've had dried figs. You've used dried figs?
I guess because I don't really like their flavor profile when they're just raw. I just like them coated in sugar.
Have you eaten one raw?
No.
They're just so sweet and they have really weird seeds. They're a weird texture.
I've eaten like dried figs, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Because they're so seedy?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But you know what? Like, I didn't like Topo Chico before, and now all of a sudden I like it, so.
Sometimes you just gotta get drunk and maybe you'll like figs.
It's true.
I don't know.
That's not true
at all. Anyway,
that's fine.
My favorite way to eat them is fresh. Probably because I was really lucky and had a fucking fig tree. I used to play Pocahontas in that fig tree. You could climb in it. It was like my own Lion King tree.
Was your sister like, you're blonde? You're like,
shut the fuck up, I used to play by myself with my dog. I didn't play with my sister. I was like, I would just go out and pretend I was Pocahontas and climb a tree, and my dog was Miko, and I'd pretend to fall out of the tree and stumble across John Smith. You know, usual child things.
Yeah, because you know why? Because you were outside.
I was fucking out the fucking side.
Yeah, out the side.
I was out the side of my yard.
Out the side of the yard.
So, figs.
Playing Pocahontas.
They're green, they're yellow, they're brown, they're dark purple. Those are the main colors, okay? I'm pretty sure ours was a brown fig tree because the brown ones are usually like, they're like light brown, have a little green on the bottom. Pretty sure those were ours.
Yeah.
But then like the black mission figs are like dark purple and they're so sweet. And they like, when they're ripe, they like ooze a syrup out of them. Like they're so
I don't know
sweet
why,
and delicious.
but I'm like envisioning something out of like ferngully.
They are.
Which, yeah.
They are magic.
Everyone knows what ferngully is, right?
Oh my God. Ferngully was like part of me. That's probably why I love the environment so much. And I'm so worried about it because that movie that I watched when I was like 3.
Fucking Batley's just all out there and
with his like goddamn prune juice.
Yes, his prune juice.
Prunes are figs.
Yes, with his like little antenna in his brain.
Bringing it back. Price check on prune juice, Bob. That was my favorite line.
On prune juice.
Anywho, so
old
figs are
Williams.
mostly all the figs that we like. Most figs are grown in California through September.
Oh wait, really quick. Wasn't he eating a fig? I don't know why I said eating like that.
Was.
When
He was.
He was like, it was like when they were eating something and like he chomped into something and it was like it had a bunch of seeds in it.
It was maybe a fig.
I think it was a fig.
I think it was.
Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Oh, Robin Williams, rest in peace. Your voice lent to so many good characters. Anywho, so figs again, sweet and savory.
Yeah.
Applications is what I like to use them in. Obviously, fig Newtons are a great way to use them.
But only the raspberry kind.
I love wrapping them in prosciutto with like some sort of cheese, like camembert or blue cheese, and roasting them. Put a little honey or like balsamic on them.
God damn.
Some fucking hazelnuts. I don't know. They're really good with different nuts and they're so yummy. They go really well with rosemary. I really like eating figs with duck. They pair really well with duck. One time I made a dish with parsnip puree and like I used dried figs and made this like port fig sauce and did like a lacquered duck, which means I like almost like candying the outside of the, not candying, but like you put a syrup on the duck and like keep cooking it and like it like lacquers like a little sweet. It was really a good dish. I think I did that. When did I do that? I don't know. Some winter special sometime.
Apparently I should have eaten that dish because I would have tasted all the things that I've never tasted before.
Yeah, you dummy. It was a
so
very fall dish.
Stupid.
And also I did say they mainly grow in California, but like a lot of people have them as house plants. Like even in Colorado, my neighbor has a fig. My grandma would grow figs in Rhode Island, my Nana, and she sent us some one time and they were fucking amazing.
That's amazing.
They're like little baby figs from her little fig tree that she grew in her house. Amazing. Also, figs are a type of ficus. I don't know if you knew that.
Didn't know that at all.
And last but not least, we're going to talk about some pears.
Oh, I do love me some pears.
And pears,
Pear
we all know.
and cranberry pie is like the best pie in the world.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
You never had pear and cranberry pie?
No, bitch.
Oh, girl. It is the...
That sounds like fall in my mouth.
I'll make you some pear and cranberry pie.
You better make me some pear cranberry pie.
It's delicious.
They are great fresh, roasted, stewed, baked, poached. We all know about poached pears.
Fucking poached pears.
Just fucking peel that shit, poach them in wine and some other spices and sugar, and you got a poached pear, and it's gluten-free.
It's gluten-free.
It's gluten-free, guys.
Jesus.
They're great in desserts. They're great in salads. And they're even great in
fantastic.
ravioli, Shay. Did you know that?
Fuck you.
Pear gorgonzola ravioli, the staple dish that will never leave the menu at Cafe Vino.
Thanks,
they are pretty
Dana.
delicious. I think that was James motherfucking Vance.
Well, then fuck you, James
I
Vance.
hope James Vance listens to this.
He probably doesn't. I thought about him the other day. I think it's only because I was like driving. It was actually yesterday because I was driving.
Did you see a ginger?
Did I say a ginger? With like just like an angry face. No, I was driving down Mulberry. No, Prospect, and it was like kind of, I don't remember where his neighborhood was, but it was back off of like Shields and South Taft. So I was like, oh, James.
Little
Jamesy poo.
Cutest ginger around.
He is, and he's the funniest ginger around.
And he really
besides you,
sloths.
Rosie, you're amazing.
Yeah. For a boy.
Well,
he's not Ron Weasley.
yeah, I mean, come on.
Why am I saying this?
Jesus.
Delete that.
Okay.
Anyways, pears.
Pears.
So I figured there was like, there's probably like a million pears like there are apples. But when I Googled it, like multiple sites were like, there's 10 varieties of pears. I was like, there's got to be more than that. But apparently there's 10 main varieties of pears. If you want me to talk about them, I can. But what time is it?
Do you want to know?
Yeah. 50?
You're at 54 minutes.
Okay, we're going to get going. So they're great in desserts, salads, raviolis, like I said. Pear gorgonzola. They're great paired with cheeses and different nuts. I really like roasting pears. Great way to get some of that sweetness out.
Roasted pears are pretty good. Yeah. They're amazing.
And one of my favorite things to also make is pear butter, which is basically you make it the same way you'd make apple butter.
Yeah.
I just cook it with
I would like that more than apple butter.
Oh, pear butter is
shit.
My favorite.
That on some like on some coffee cake.
Oh, girl, remember
God
that pear
damn.
gingerbread we made that one time?
Yes, that was so fucking good.
I think that was our last cooking segment, I feel like.
Yeah, that was good.
But yep, that's the flavors of fall. And I was like, yeah, that's only 2 pages long, but I can talk about food for fucking ever.
It's what you fucking love. So I love it. It was a lot of information. And now I just want it to snow now. Honestly, I don't even give it. I was mad about it, but now after hearing all that, I was like, fucking bring it on.
Bring on the snow. Yeah, I was really inspired because of our little fall dinner I had with my little friends this weekend. And like one of the things I made was celery root puree, and they're like, I've never even heard of that. And I was like, I should talk about the ingredients of fall.
Fuck yeah.
That motherfucking people don't even know how to cook. So I hope you guys liked that. And I guess now it's time for nostalgia.
It's time to turn the page, guys. You guys ready?
Turn it.
Okay. Are you ready?
Just kidding.
Here, can you pull that up? Wherever you're going to sit, just, make sure it's up to your face.
That's what she said.
There it is.
Can you pull that up?
Can you pull it up to my face? Because I'm really tired and I'm 600 pounds and
I have tacos hiding in my purse. And
just feel like bridesmaid, just like, I'm just putting my hand up my face. Everyone wants to know. Anyway, so can I ask you this question, Brie?
You can ask me anything you want, Shay.
Where were you as a kid? What was like the biggest excitement for you on a Friday night?
TJF?
No.
Oh,
that's a good one.
The movies?
Noted.
Going to the movies?
Like when you're a little kid and you get out of school and your parents are like, you know what?
They were like, get the fuck in the car, we're going home. Ice cream?
This is not turning out the way I wanted it to do.
I did not have a normal family.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Did you rent some movies?
Oh, Blockbuster.
There it is.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, Shay. Cut to the chase next time.
I was like,
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
We did go to Blockbuster. My family was pretty normal in that way. I was like,
well, I don't know. You could
have grounded on a Friday every time.
You could have gone to like the off-brand of the Hollywood videos, so I don't know.
Oh, Blockbuster was
that was
in our town. Actually, it was probably a local rental store.
Right.
More than when we got a Blockbuster, I felt like that was like fucking
you
cool.
were royalty. It's like when somebody gets like fucking, I don't know, like a Target or a Walmart in their town now. Mm-hmm. Actually, more Target than Walmart, let's be honest.
I think ours was called like something home video.
Yeah, I feel like we had a couple. There was obviously way more mom and pop shops then than there are now. We used to have
one.
Are
there fucking any?
There was Showtime in Loveland for a while. I'm pretty sure that they're shut down now, but they were there for a minute after Blockbuster. I feel like they were there
for a long time.
Yeah, and it was so dumpy.
I went there the last week they were open with my sister.
So what year was that?
It was like, I think it was last year that it closed.
So pretty recent. So yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about Blockbuster video.
One time I had a $50 late fee to Hollywood Video.
Shut the fuck up. Did you pay it?
And I paid it.
Did you pay it?
For one fucking movie. I fucking paid it.
What movie was it? Do you know? Titanic?
I don't even fucking remember. It definitely wasn't Titanic because I definitely had that on the 2 VHS
the split ones, like, switch to tape B.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't remember what it was?
No. It was probably something dumb, and I didn't even they didn't even let me keep it.
Yeah, I would have just kept it.
It was like $46, but like, they made me pay it all.
I think at the same time,
it's probably for 2 movies.
I think like no, that probably was correct at what the price was, but like I think like toward the end of like their reign, for Blockbuster's reign, like they did like the no late fees thing, but you still actually got pinged if you didn't return it like after 7 days or something like that. Yeah. And I think like they charge you pretty much just the price of the movie, and then they just were like, okay, you're done now. They didn't charge you like fucking $10 a day.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Now you can rent movies on your fucking TV, but they're like $5 fucking for 1 second.
It's true.
Looking at it.
But if you give it a little bit,
viewing.
It's 24 hours, sometimes 48.
Oh.
$1.99. You just got to press that more purchase options for the SD versions and not like the fucking bullshit.
I don't even know what you just said, so.
You get up with the times, girl.
Let's talk about fucking Blockbuster and how I wish that they were real still.
I know. Well,
there's one in Portland.
Yep, that's true. All right, so you ready?
That's all I know. Okay.
Okay.
Shut up now.
So, Blockbuster was founded in 1985, so it was at least, I guess it still is, as old as I am. So it's 33 years old.
Wow.
So it opened in good old Dallas, Texas.
Oh my God! Even from where you're from, not Dallas, but
yeah, but I'm from Texas. So it was founded by David Cook, who provided computer software. Who provided computer software services to like the big oil and gas giants at the time, and it actually gave all of his knowledge in that technical field. Gave Blockbuster an edge. Most video stores were local.
It did have an edge.
It did have an edge, but most local stores were they were like local mom and pop shops, or like the ones like, did you ever like go into a fucking Albertsons, which is an old fashioned sentence?
Yes.
And it had that dingy like one like little like the little tiny
next to the fucking stuffed
like
animal
like 10
machine.
square foot like little conclave of just shitty like old yellers and
shitty old
shitty old yellers.
They always had old yeller. You're right.
It was old. It was just
And
old, it was
Homeward
old
Bound.
movies. They never really had anything new, and they had like it was like that little plastic case where it was super just gross and
the red sticker of the price.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh my God.
So like a lot of them were like local places like that, or like they were standalone mom and pop shops and stuff like that. So they only carried like a handful of titles. So Blockbuster changed the game because they opened up with carrying like around a ballpark of like 8,000 tapes, which is the most insane thing in that sentence. VHS, where you gotta we get like a late charge if you did not rewind that shit.
Do you remember the adult section? It always made me feel uncomfortable.
Not
when
Blockbuster.
Oh well, the mom and pop shops
now
had adult sections. And I always felt so weird when I walked by them because I was like, there's people half naked on those videos.
So that's interesting because like I've always grew up with Blockbuster. I grew up in Austin, Texas, so it just didn't have, it had more Blockbusters than it did mom and pop shops, at least in my knowledge. So I never set foot in like something like that, like where
there's always like
let me rephrase
a wall of like the adult section and like the mom and pop ones, at least where in Nipas.
Oh, see?
In Napomo.
You had like more culture because we did not have mom and pop shops. It was kind of sad.
People that needed some porn.
So I never like there was always like there was a back door in their video stores.
Yeah, there was sometimes a room with like a curtain that was like the adult section too, but sometimes it was a wall.
Right. So but like I never actually, I kind of feel sad that I never experienced that, but you know, is what it is.
My mom would yell at me every time I
Don't
was
touch it, Brianna.
There.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Don't touch it. So
don't touch it, Brianna.
So along with like having 8,000 titles, they also
probably jizz on this
probably
case.
Don't touch it. So along with having 8,000 titles, they also had like a computerized checkout system.
Which was super high tech.
Yeah, so like for the 80s, it was like super fucking fancy futuristic.
Wasn't like fucking index cards like at a library catalog.
Right. So like they had like, it was just, everything was just streamlined. So it was just super like, just everyone, minds were blown. It was crazy.
That was the sound of minds being blown.
Mine just bring, bring. Anyway, so it became a fast-growing business after the success of their first store, and in 1987, 1987, David Cook sold part of the business to a group of investors that included Wayne. I'm probably saying this wrong, but it's fine.
That was the name of the movie place, Wayne's World or something.
Shut the fuck
Napomo. Oh my fucking God! It was called Wayne's World. Or something.
I would have gone to that. Hands
it was called
down.
Wayne's World. Someone from Napomo needs to DM me right now and tell me if that's true.
Wayne's World?
It was called Wayne's World.
How did they get that copyright?
I need to text my friend Robbie Beetle right now.
Do it. So anyway, so one of the investors that included Wayne Hoazenga, he was the founder of Hiawatha. He was the founder of the Waste Management Incorporation, which is the world's biggest garbage disposal company. So,
that's random.
I know it's super random, but he became like a humongous investor.
He knew that everyone would throw VHSs in the garbage eventually.
Right in the garbage. So Hoazenga took control of Blockbuster after Cook left the company, and Cook left the company because Cook left the company to run Amtech, which developed technology my God, I can speak. Which developed the technology underlying the electronic toll collection devices people put in their cars. Oh. So he's probably doing all right. And I'm sure he walked away going, Yeah, I worked away from that I walked away from that dumpster fire, which is a pun.
Dumpster fire.
Fucking stupid.
Repeat that really loud.
Jesus. Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Fire vessel?
Oh, God. Under Hoazenga's leadership, I don't know why I'm going to say it like that every single time. Blockbuster embarked on aggressive expansion plans, snatching up existing video store chains and opening up scores of new stores.
He snatched him right up. Snatch. That's my least favorite word.
Ooh, yeah, it's true. By 1988, Blockbuster was America's leading video chain, which with some 400 stores. By the early 1990s, Blockbuster had launched its 1,000th store and expanded into the overseas market. Now, like, do you remember like all the commercials, like where it was like, "Wow, what a difference!" And it was like the kids like they would like run. It was like an crappy animated like cartoon that they would run up to the store and they would say like Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference!
I don't know.
You don't? God damn it!
I only
You're
watched
not helping
Disney
with my
Channel that didn't have normal commercials.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, whatever. Moving on.
NTJF.
Jesus.
TGIF.
So in 1994, so they're like expanding and they're doing their thing. And in 1994, Viacom acquires Blockbuster for $8.4 billion. And over the years, Blockbuster took on like new ventures, Blockbuster Movie Awards that ran from 1995 to 2001. Do you remember those?
Oh my God, I do.
Do you remember those? It was like, it looked like the Blockbuster logo, but like with like a popcorn on top of it.
Yes.
Yep. So that was a thing. They actually stopped after the attacks on 9/11 happened because they just thought that the viewership would drop. So they just actually, and honestly, they were kind of, I think they were just trying to downsize at that point.
Yeah.
So they also had
9/11.
right. So they just had Blockbuster Express, which was just a kiosk, which was like to rival, Redbox.
Yeah. And that was I wonder when Redbox, because Redbox came out and then Blockbuster came out with their version of Redbox.
Yeah, everyone kind of came out with
took
things,
over.
and then Blockbuster would come out like later because they
I do remember that.
Blockbuster really thought like they were gonna be around forever. Like they just thought like they really
Like,
didn't.
no one's ever gonna
shit. Yeah,
no one's ever gonna upgrade this technology.
Right, exactly.
VHS
or DVDs or Blu-rays. I remember when that happened. Like shit. So and they also had Game Rush. Do you remember those? They were for a minute. They were standalone places. They were like GameStops and stuff like that. They would like have fucking like
Super Mario Brothers,
like Nintendo parties and shit like that. And they would have like video game competitions. And they would
it wasn't like a fucking GameStop.
You can't rent shit at GameStop, but you can buy shit. You can like buy just different game consoles. But I remember also Blockbuster, like when I remember it in its 90s, you could rent VCRs and they came in like those big plastic briefcases. They were ridiculous.
You could rent a VCR from Blockbuster?
Rent a VCR and you could rent game consoles and you could, obviously you could
could literally do that now.
Yeah.
They could literally rent VCRs.
Yeah, they could. People are so like into nostalgic that they would absolutely do that. So I was looking at fucking Blockbuster commercials and one with Michael Jackson came on. With like I think it was with a single.
Was he with a little boy by chance? Probably, most likely.
No, it was actually during the one where he was doing it with his sister Janet Jackson. I think it was the. I don't think it was. It was the one before.
Is that his sister? Just kidding.
Not the one where it was the Stop Pressuring Me, but what was the one before? Didn't he do another one with Janet Jackson? I can't remember. He was doing one with his sister. It was all black and white. It could be the one that was Stop Pressuring Me.
Stop pressuring me.
Yes. It just makes him want to scream. So did you know that they had Blockbuster music stores?
No.
Yeah, neither did I.
Wait.
Yeah.
No.
They did. And I think the venture
vaguely remember that now that
I don't ever remember it. The venture kind of flopped. Obviously, I think a lot of the not a lot of the CEOs, but like a lot of the business insiders said like they don't know like what they think that it's going to be like streamlined what the video business is, but it's nothing like that. They have no idea what they're getting into.
I'm just thinking of Best Buy.
Probably
CDs and videos there.
Do you remember Warehouse Music?
Yes.
Okay, so they bought them out.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was Blockbuster before Warehouse. I totally
Okay.
remember Warehouse
So
music.
I don't
That's where I got my CDs,
Right.
bitch.
So I don't remember
my cassettes.
Right. I don't remember ever going into a Blockbuster music. I don't think they were ever in Austin.
Oh my god, Warehouse.
Warehouse. There was
That
actually
sparked
one.
my whole
There was
heart
one
just now.
right by like we had like a little shopping center, and the Best Buy's still there. There, like around that corner, there was a Warehouse music, and you could go and it was just CDs. It was amazing. I kind of missed that, like going and finding like your CD and like fuck yeah, it's $5.99. Suck it, Fall Out Boys.
Fuck, it's $13.29.
Right, and it was always like $13.99 or $14.99 or $15, or like if they were really fucking $17.99.
That's when they were like the fucking extended version.
Yeah, like they had like the crazy pamphlets, and they're like, look at all of my beautiful Fall Out Boys. And my Sum 41.
Look at all the lyrics are on this huge poster.
Because I'm so complicated, so fucking stupid.
Emo. Oh my god, Warehouse fucking music.
Yep.
Shay.
I was.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so they bought out the
Next to
Blockbuster.
Spencer's Gifts.
Right. So I think they actually I actually really couldn't find a whole lot of information on the Blockbuster music stores. I think they only existed for a couple of years.
I definitely remember them.
I think Warehouse was like, we got this. Don't worry more about it.
Wait, Warehouse sounds way cooler.
Right. And oddly enough, they actually also invested some money in Discovery Zone. Do you remember Discovery Zones?
Oh.
That shit.
Yeah. We had one where I grew up, I'm pretty sure.
We had a couple in Austin, and then we had another one called Pandemonium, and it was like the mom and pop Discovery Zone. I had at least like 7 birthdays there. It was
At least.
It was definitely out of the 80s. They had really updated a lot of their stuff, but even then it was nostalgic as a kid. Like it was amazing. It was so fucking cool.
Like, why don't they build I mean, they do.
But like, but Discovery Zones were like a big thing of what Pandemonium was to me. Like it was like just it seemed like it was miles of tubes, especially when you were a kid.
It's like a giant hamster cage for children.
It totally was. There was like
and
little
then there's
water
big bubbles,
right? There was like little
stuff.
water, like little containers in it. There really wasn't, but that would be amazing if they're like, okay, here's your little gerbil feeder. You just eat it and you just keep going.
Drink your soda out of this gerbil
Here,
feeder,
have
children.
Have some go-go juice.
It's 1990. You can drink all the soda you want.
It's fine. Don't worry about those teeth. They're gonna rot out anyway.
You're gonna die one day. It doesn't matter to do research.
It's true. Even though it was sad, because Discovery Zone just they went bankrupt all of a sudden. They just closed their doors in 1999, and a lot of their shit got sold to Chuck E. Cheese. But anyway,
all right, Chuck E. Cheese.
yeah.
Step it
So
up, okay?
they're just like continuously like they're just like building their empire and everything else. And in 1997, Reed Hastings returns Apollo 13 to Blockbuster 6 weeks overdue, and he's sad about his $40 late fee. So, do you know who Reed Hastings is?
No.
Okay, we're gonna find out here in a minute. So in
where's this going?
so that
Does
was in
he-
1997.
does he sue
so
Blockbuster?
Just think about this. So this is in 1997. He returned Apollo 13 late. So I believe your $50 late fee with wherever
Mine was
it
like
was.
48 days
Yeah.
late. So
Oh, okay. So it was like it's gonna be like 4 cents a day. So it was a $40 late fee for 6 weeks for Apollo 13
that's insane. Well, that was like the most popular movie of all time
in
for a long
1997.
time. Yeah.
So in 1998, Reed Hastings goes on to found Netflix.
Nuh-uh.
Dead fucking serious.
That's
So he's
like,
can you imagine?
fuck Blockbuster,
I mean, that
dude.
is if that isn't the biggest
That's an
like
entrepreneur story if I've ever heard
right
one.
and the biggest like what is the word
Fuck you?
resentment like what is it like it's like I don't what's the
I know
word
what you're talking about.
do you know what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
like it's like the most petty way to you're like you know what
Like the guy who became a lawyer so he could sue
Like,
the people for not.
that's like somebody like
putting him
going up to
through school.
Blockbuster and going you know what hold my beer I'm gonna do this better. That's what that's like saying. It's like the most petty way to get back at somebody. They're like, oh shit, like I didn't think this was
like
gonna happen. But
it was
okay.
like fucking Stanley.
yeah,
You know?
Right.
When we talked about the Stanley guy?
yeah. So
Anyway.
so he goes on to found Netflix.
Oh my god.
But then he goes in 2000. He goes, hey, you know what, Blockbuster? Do you want to buy? Do you want to buy this?
part of it.
You want to buy this part of it? Like, I mean, I didn't actually think I was gonna get like, I didn't think it was gonna be this much success. So like, you know what? Like, you know what? How about this? We would be like a really good, just a united front or whatever. But he actually was like offered. He approached Blockbuster and asked for $50 million to give away the company he founded. He's like, you know what? I don't really want it. It's here you go, but like give me $50 million and then you can have it. And just as a note, but obviously Blockbuster refused, and he's like, they pretty much said like it's a fucking fad. Like people streaming.
Blockbuster's never going anywhere.
You don't have the technology or the gumption. Like, they actually thought, the CEO actually thought it was a fucking fad. Like it was just a cute little startup. And just so everyone knows, Netflix today is worth roughly $150 billion. So, it is what it is.
Dude, Netflix literally changed the world.
Yeah, yeah.
They changed.
He did this all from a fucking late fee. A late fee.
That goes to show you guys, if you're fucking inspired, just keep on going.
Hashtag 30ish. Anyway.
Hashtag 30ish.
Oh
my God, that's
isn't
fucking
that insane?
bananas.
Isn't that bananas? That's crazy. And
BANANAS.
And I mean, and after obviously when Netflix kind of was thriving and everything else, I mean, Blockbuster also tried to follow in their footsteps, and did the DVD to mail order service. They actually tried streaming, which I did that one time. I think
Caddy used to get mail order Netflix. It was really convenient for us.
You can still get them. You can
As
still have a
roommates
plan.
forever.
You're right. You can still get a plan to get their Blu-rays or DVDs
mailed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you absolutely can, because like when part of their, I'm pointing at the TV. See, this is what Netflix has made me do. When you don't have like all this stuff when they pull stuff off from streaming, you can still get it off of their, like they still have the library. Can
you get mail or? But
that's
you
what
have
I mean.
to have both, right? You have to have like a different membership.
I think you have to have both to get it.
You probably can have get more of a movie selection.
But that's what I mean. Like you can get, because we'll have all the titles that they don't have on here. So like, let's just say like if you typed in.
I never thought of that, because sometimes I'm like, Netflix, you have a million movies, but I don't want to watch any of them.
Right. So like Netflix still has their library. They just don't advertise that option, which I don't know why they don't. Especially like in the days.
Because they make way more money not sending fucking shit out in the mail.
I mean, that's fair. But like with people that are so nostalgic these days, they would make a killing if they fucking advertise that.
They're probably going to start
They
tomorrow
should.
after we launch this podcast.
Probably. They're like, oh, 30ish says so. I'm gonna look up what their thing is.
I cannot. That is dope. So you mean when I returned my Planet Hollywood video for $58,
right?
I could have just been like, what am I doing?
Right.
Why don't I start an app?
Blockbuster tried to follow in those footsteps. That's when they saw kind of the writing on the wall, like
they
Netflix,
should have bought into Netflix.
Right. So they were but they thought like it's a fucking fad, it's a startup, it's a whatever, like they want to buy us for $50 million, like fuck you. They want us to buy them for $50 million, like fuck off. And he was like fine, like here, take.
And now they're worth $150 billion.
And they're worth 150. I think it ranges every day. I think it's like 120 to 150 billion dollars. And he's still the CEO. So he was like, okay, I'm like, whatever. I don't
They're like
care.
putting out, I think it's crazy now that like Netflix will have movies that are in theaters at the same time, or like it's a Netflix movie that they'll release in theaters.
It's
crazy.
It's a hair more what's the word? The net worth of Netflix is a hair more than Disney.
More?
It's a hair more. But it's still bigger than Disney.
Disney's been around since the like fucking what?
And they
40s?
And they own Marvel, and they own ESPN, they own AB, they own everything, and they are above Disney.
They changed the fucking world.
They did.
And entertainment. They did.
From a fucking late fee.
You can be inspired by anything, everyone. And you know what? That's what it goes to show.
To me? Like, you know what? Petty get you far. Sometimes.
But also kindness gets you far.
It does too. But
sometimes you got to change the system because it's fucked up. Because if you return a movie 6 days late and it's $50, that's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
So you're right. You got to change the fucking system. Okay, motherfuckers.
Yes. Anyway, so But yeah, so but it's okay. Like they managed to make like one more bad decision before they end up going bankrupt.
Oh, perfect.
So in April 2008, so it's 8 years later, they placed a bid worth $1 billion to purchase Circuit City. Do you remember Circuit City?
Yeah, that's fucking down in the drain, right with Blockbuster.
Yeah. So, but in July of 2008, Blockbuster withdrew its offer due to market conditions. They just were like saying, like,
Also, Best Buy took over Circuit City.
well, yeah, and they said Circuit City, like, they didn't do their due diligence and blah, blah, blah. So they're like, we couldn't, like, whatever, make a conscious choice on having to buy them. And then Circuit City closed in 2009, I believe. So, you know, there's that.
Because they were probably like, they're like, fuck you, like being little, like, they were kind of being petty in a way. At least Netflix came back.
No, I'm sorry,
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
At least Netflix came back and was like, yo,
Yeah.
I fucking figured something out way better than you
Yeah,
guys.
like, hey, let's
And they were probably like, fuck you. You can't, you know.
Do you want to buy
So
this?
it's like,
Because,
well,
like, I
you
made this
fucked up.
platform because I feel like you with the platform that you guys have, like, you know, you guys could like take this and run with it. And like, because he didn't know what he had either. He was just like, you know,
I don't know what to do.
Which I'm sure he's like, I'm glad I didn't fucking sell to him. Jesus.
Yeah, now I'm good.
I'm
And
good
so are
for
my great-great-great-great-grandchildren, like Davy
for
Crockett.
multiple lifetimes. So they put a bid in 2008 for $1 billion. But in 2010, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So I don't know what the fuck they're... So whoever was making the decisions for Blockbuster, I mean, I don't even know what was going on. But they were high. Or drunk. I'm not quite sure. Anyway.
So high.
So they...
High as a kite.
High as a kite. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and with a plan to reorganize and like continue with the company. So it wasn't I think it's Chapter 7 is where they liquidate everything. Chapter 11 is where they can reorganize and everything. So in 2011, Dish Network buys Blockbuster out of bankruptcy with the plans to like keep some of the stores running. So that kind of goes on for a little bit.
The kiosks.
Yeah, and the kiosks. And that's where they kind of start to like do the pay-per-view thing. If you own like Dish Network, you could see like pay-per-view, like, and they had like the Blockbuster sign. So they're really hoping they could keep that label going because everyone knew it. And then, and if you, I mean, I don't know if you remember like going into like Blockbuster like in the late 2000s, like where it was just really sad.
It was just like empty. There's like one VHS of everything. One
Which
DVD.
was super sad because like even like when I was like a little kid, I remember always being busy on a Friday night, even though you were super fucking sad when you would like go to like the row of like the boxes,
the kids,
and then there would be like you'd be so hopeful, and there'd be no fucking tape behind it.
I know, that was sad.
And you're like, damn it, I gotta wait, and you would like go to like the quick drop, be like, hey, somebody who clearly hated their job. And you were like, can you shift through those 25 tapes over there and see if you have a copy of Broken Arrow that I can watch?
Do you have Indian in the cupboard? Please, God, say that you do.
Do you have Spice World? Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, this is nostalgic as fuck.
It's true. God, I remember. Do you remember getting like the Nickelodeon tapes? Not only were they orange. But do you remember getting the ones? It was like they did like it was like a Snick pack. Remember Snick at Night?
Oh my God, Snick!
Snick at Night with the orange couch, and then they would have like the tapes, and it would be it would be like an All That, an Are You Afraid of the Dark, a Pete and Pete, a Ren and Stimpy, and you would get the tape and you could like pop it in and watch it. Do you remember those?
No.
Fuck, girl.
My parents didn't like me watching Nickelodeon stuff,
that's
so
right.
we never fucking rented it.
That's your fucking parents, man. Jesus.
They were
live a little.
They were strict. Don't worry, Austin got to watch Rugrats.
Wow, he was the
Didn't he? Actually, he did not watch Rugrats. It was too old for him.
That's fair. Yeah. Let's see. So in 2013, after 2011, after they've had it for 2 years, they're like, this really isn't working out. So they closed like the remaining company, just the company-owned Blockbuster store. Apparently, they could have you could buy like the franchise name. So those all remained open, but the company-owned ones, they closed. So on September of 2013, it was reported that 300 of the U.S. retail stores, as well as the buy mail DVD distribution business, would close, and a reported 2,800 employees would lose their jobs. And there were a couple that kind of survived, the ones that were franchise owned. I think there was like one of the last couple were like in Alaska, which eventually closed.
Alaska. What else you got to do except stay awake till midnight and
it's true.
Watch some movies.
And then there was one in Australia that just closed in 2018.
Wow. The
last remaining one
Stay strong, Portland.
Yes, it's not even in Portland, but it is in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
So the last remaining one, as of 2019, the Blockbuster brand has mostly been retired. Just still maintained a small number of Blockbuster store franchises. Maintained a small number of Blockbuster store franchise and brand licensing agreements, which allowed some of the remaining privately owned franchised stores to remain open in the U.S. and worldwide between 2014 and 2018. Like I said, Alaska, and there was a couple other ones. I believe there was a couple in South America and even Mexico, and the one in Australia. As of September of 2019, the only remaining physical Blockbuster, a privately owned franchise, store in the entire world, think about that, in the entire world, remains in Bend, Oregon, which is 3 hours south of Portland. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere. And if you look at their website, they don't really have a website, but like at their Instagram, and they have a Twitter page.
It's probably a tourist destination.
They have a lot of stuff that says like the last Blockbuster on Earth.
They have concerts there. Questlove was there. He recorded.
Are you
there
serious?
Was someone playing.
So they have bumper stickers. They have a bunch of shit, and they're like all that merchandise is like flying off the shelves. So like they're like
so nostalgic.
It's nostalgic. People love nostalgia right now. So so that's the last one. So it's probably
because they took away our hopes and dreams of our childhood. Sometimes
it's true, and they actually don't have the money to like what's the word? Remodel and just kind of update their shit. So it's super nostalgic in there. It's super like just like.
Why aren't people like donating to them? Like, keep it alive?
You know what? If they made like a GoFundMe page, people will probably donate. Like, but can you imagine like just the blue and yellow label, and then like all like the yellow interior inside, which is what it was.
All those damn wire shelves.
Mm-hmm. And you were so happy when you got like that, like when you pull out like the cassette behind like the little. Whatever.
The clear case behind the actual regular case?
Yeah, and it was like the blue one instead of like the red one. So you're like, fuck, I got it for 5 days instead of 2.
Oh my God, I forgot the different colors for the different days.
It was like the red and the gold for like
fuck,
the 2 day or the
2
1
days?
day. Mm-hmm.
Great. Isn't that funny? Like 2 days was like, oh my God, I have 2 days to watch this. I have so little time.
So little time.
Now I don't return Redbox movies and they're like $30.
Yeah.
So then at that point, after it's been like 15 days, I'm like, well, I'm just going to buy this movie now.
It's true. But like, it's true though. You don't think about that. Like, people like now have like, without batting an eye, will binge a series 8 fucking hours and not even like bat an eye. But like, if you got like a 2-day rental, you're like, how am I going to do this?
How am I going to watch
When do
this?
I have the time?
I have to play in a tree outside for at least 6 hours tomorrow.
I only get electricity from like noon to 2. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
That's very fucking true and insane to think about.
Well, it's not completely true that we got electricity from noon to 2.
That's not.
But we didn't think, like, we were not driven by Netflix and chill, and we weren't, not that, and I love me a good Netflix and chill and a good binge. Don't get me wrong there. So, thank you.
It's an addiction now.
It's true. But it's weird, like, it was a different time. So,
now it's just at our fingertips instantly.
So at its peak, can you pull that up to your face a little bit? Thank you.
Hello?
Thank you. That's so
Can
much
you
better.
hear me?
So much better. So at its peak in 2000, at its peak in 2004, Blockbuster had 60,000 employees and 9,000 stores worldwide, with a market value of $5 billion and revenues of $5.9 billion. 10 years later, those figures dropped dramatically, with revenues of only $120 million coming from its remaining 300 stores in the U.S. So, I mean,
that's insane.
Slice up by 120 is $1 million is amazing, but like still, it's nothing compared to what the behemoth that it was.
Yeah. And in 10 years, that declining.
Yeah, how fast? Like that is really the epitome of like how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
So here's some fast facts.
Technology.
So its main competitors were Hollywood Video, obviously. We all know how we felt about Hollywood Video too. You're like, I'm gonna need a wet nap before I go in there.
That's who I had to pay $50 for a late.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. Like and it was like like royal purple, and it just looked
red,
gross, and yeah. And that
looked gross.
It just looked gross. It always looked dirty, even though like Blockbuster really didn't look that much cleaner. But it was always like in your frame of mind. Hollywood Video actually
like Target versus Walmart. Like I'd much rather be in a Target than a Walmart because it's brighter. It's better colors in there.
Right, the color schemes are better. You feel it just feels cleaner, and it just is.
But it's not. It's the same fucking shit.
It's the same
just
fucking
different
shit.
colors.
1000%.
Fucking hashtag marketing. Magic.
It is. I mean, if you went to a newer Walmart now and you went to an older Target, you probably want to be at the newer Walmart. So it's all about how your brain kind of functions. It's interesting. Fucking marketing.
Science.
So Hollywood Video actually was one of their main competitors, but it ceased operations in 2010. And Movie Gallery, which, did you ever go into a movie gallery? I never went into one of those, ever. I think it was more like a not like a Texas thing, but like a Southern thing, which is like Alabama.
Movie gallery.
Yeah. But they actually bought Hollywood Video, so they actually ceased around the same time, but they bought them in 2005. And they converted some of the Hollywood stores into movie galleries. But they ceased operations, obviously, in 2010 because they're the same fucking company. So, anyway. So, and again, we talked about it in the earlier, but they weren't big on their porn. They didn't have a back room, like the Sin Cities.
Oh, no. St. Paul, Minneapolis.
St. Paul. They were actually sued by Nintendo because they were photocopying manuals, which anyone who plays fucking video games knows. Like, they're fucking useless. So the fact that like Nintendo even was petty enough to just be like, yeah, we know that you're fucking photocopying manuals, and and they actually settled out of court. They like won. They didn't win, but like they settled out of court.
Fuck?
They played so by the book, but if you play by the book and you push it enough, like it is illegal. But they were
Blockbuster. Renting because they had games to rent, but then they were, instead of using their actual manuals, they were copying them.
Because like Blockbuster claimed because they were like worn out, so they were just photocopying the manuals to just put nicely for like the customer to use.
Things, yeah.
But like it was so stupid because I never once ever looked at, like, I would open the box because I rented video games so fucking much, and I would open up the box and and the little manual would be in there, but I never, because it was fucking useless. Nobody. Like, we know how to, like...
You play the game, and that's how you figure it out.
We know how to make Mario jump and shit. It wasn't, like... Even, like, today, like, I could figure out how to do shit. But, with the crazy games they got. But anyway.
All those crazy critters they got out there.
Yeah. So, and they actually made a fortune out of late fees. In 2000, $8 million, or 16%... of total revenue came from rental fees. I'm sorry. Did I say $8 billion? I meant to say $800 million.
On late fees?
On late fees.
Damn.
So they
just counted on those late.
They made a fortune. So they took a humongous loss when I think it was in the late 2000s, right before they closed. They got rid of the late fees.
So people would actually fucking
come
back.
But they actually got sued because of that, because they said, like, no more late fees, but after 7 days, you actually were charged late fees, so it was false advertisement. So.
They just were fucking themselves up in the end.
Whoever was making the decisions.
They're just running them into the ground.
Yeah. Like. So,
and they probably thought they were too big to fail. They weren't GM, though, okay?
Yeah.
They weren't fucking Ford.
No.
Okay?
Yeah. So, they actually.
Wells Fargo.
They actually tried to become an amusement park. In 1990,
that'd be dope,
right? But in 1994, executives tried to open a center dubbed the Blockbuster Block Party in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Can you imagine? Up next is the Backstreet Boys, and they're coming in their walkers here. It's gonna be great. We've got NSYNC and Britney Spears up next, and she's gonna read a poetic fucking poem about how she likes to dance in the dark compared to the light, because she likes the twinkle lights. Jesus fucking Christ.
Insane now.
Yeah. So, but can you imagine the Blockbuster Block Party?
Dude, that would be a dope amusement park that they need to open now.
People would go.
Different movie rides?
No, but I guarantee...
Titanic ride?
I guarantee you. But like all it was going to be... So, it was going to be spread over 60,000 square feet. The adult amusement park featured laser tag, mazes, and motion simulator rides. So just like a really big Fort Fun. Like a Dave & Buster's. That's all it was going to be.
Dumb.
Yeah, it's stupid.
You guys aren't thinking big, Blockbuster.
No. So I mean, it's at, like, the press referred to it as, like, a miniature Disneyland on steroids, but,
Dude,
I mean,
Netflix needs to make a theme park.
They would make a killing.
A Stranger Things ride would be dope as fuck.
Right?
Orange is the New Black?
Right? I don't even know what that ride would be.
I don't either.
Okay, so after feeling the pressure from both Netflix and Redbox rental kiosks, Blockbuster developed its own, obviously, mail rental service in 2004. According to Fast Company, when Hastings told listeners, that's Reed Hastings, told listeners on a conference call that the company had thrown everything but the kitchen sink at Netflix in an attempt to be competitive, he received a kitchen sink in the mail from Blockbuster the following day. So this is in 2004, and I guess it's the heyday. They're like, we're high on the hog. We're going to mail you a fucking kitchen sink. Boom. They mailed him a kitchen sink.
Like, just as spite?
I guess.
And then...
Again, with the financial decisions, whoever is making the calls there, obviously we're like, you know what? Let me just figure out a way to really burn this company to the ground. It's like they tried everything.
That's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. And so the last title ever rented at Blockbuster. Can you give a guess what it was?
Let's see, when did it end? 2010?
Mm-hmm. No, 2013.
2013? Mm-hmm. Transformers?
So, aside from the independently owned...
2007.
I don't even know when Transformer was.
2006,
aside from the independently owned in the name-only stores, the last official Blockbuster video location closed on November of 2013. And the last rental was Seth Rogen's 2013 apocalyptic comedy, This Is the End.
Perfect.
The company posted a photo of the moment on their Twitter page.
Is that why they, like, made that movie? They're like, can you make this movie?
Yes, that's exactly what Seth Rogen was like.
Blockbuster.
I'm going to do it. Yeah, that's not how he talks. But he talks. You know how he...
That's his laugh
just
to me.
Like that. Hashtag sponsor us for Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, I know you're listening.
Right? Jesus.
Oh my God, that's fucking
Anyway,
awesome.
that was like a fast and... Oh, it wasn't fast.
That wasn't that fast.
Holy shit.
That was a long time too.
47 minutes in.
I'm sorry, you have a busy weekend.
Shit. I'm glad we don't have to research next week.
No.
Anyway.
Field
Yeah, because
trip.
we don't have to research next week.
You guys, next week's our 30-ish.
Because we did not address it in the beginning of the episode. We fucked up. Or no, Shay fucked up because...
We all fucked up.
No. Brie was like, can you realize? And I was like, oh my God. I actually counted this one as 29 and it was actually 30.
So we should have taken a field trip. Also, it's our 30-ish episode, so we wanted to do something really special, and it just snuck up on us so fast that we forgot.
Yes, and for our 30th, we're also gonna like kind of talk about some like little. We're gonna be doing some different stuff,
some new shit,
and we're gonna let you guys know in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not right now.
No, we'll keep the suspense building for you.
That's all we got in our lives right now. So,
but yeah, that was fucking Blockbuster. Holy shit.
Right? I wanted to get that one out of the way. That one, I'm sorry guys, that was a little boring, but
it wasn't. I was fucking entertained the whole time.
Yeah. I'm really hoping next time I can roll some murder. I kind of miss it. I'm not a psychopath. I like that shit.
I love it. Shay, that's literally nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, and then you talked about warehouse music and I almost peed myself.
I know you did. I thought
I was like,
were.
oh, I literally just held my
like it was an actual ride. Myself. Like it was an actual ride.
Dude, Blockbuster needs to come out with a theme park. Well, Netflix does.
Netflix does. Blockbuster will not. They don't have any money. And they don't exist.
They don't. You're right. They need to team up with Nickelodeon Studios and come out with a fucking theme park.
There will be so many 30/40-year-olds there. It won't be even funny. Won't even be even kids. It'll be great.
I know. Come on.
Do it.
Do it for us.
Sweet. Fine. So are we going to do our little shout out since we're like fucking, this is going to be a 3 hour
we don't
long
have
episode?
to roll.
Nope, we don't have to roll.
So, hey guys, you know what time it is. It's me talking about our Instagram and our Facebook now. We have a Facebook too.
We do. She wrote a really great thing on it, so go look at it.
I did. I actually have to make sure it's saved because I was very proud of our description of our podcast. So yeah, if you want to, you can message us on there. You can follow us. You can find our little fucking things. We also have a YouTube now, so if you can't listen on a you don't want to listen on a normal platform, just go to YouTube.
Yeah,
and you
for
can
whatever reason.
watch it on your TV and listen if you want.
Do your thing, man. No judgment.
And yeah, thanks for tuning in with us this week. And each week, we fucking love doing this. We're thinking of some more exciting things to do.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to like it.
Bring you some laughs. And we love doing this. So thanks for letting us and listening.
True.
Yeah. Also, if you guys ever have any ideas of like, oh, this would be a great thing for them to talk about, or if you're like doing something in your normal day and you're like, I feel fucking 30 today, hashtag 30ish for us or tag us or something.
Yeah.
That's super fun.
Just email us, man.
Yeah.
Or DM us. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Also, another thing, if you ever have any questions about any vegetables that you need to cook, you can also DM the 30ish page and I'll answer your cooking questions because I also love that shit. If you're like, I don't know what a fucking parsnip is, Brie, you know who to cut. I'm your personal chef at your disposal. Okay?
That's true.
Anyways, that's just a random thought. Too. You could erase that. But anyway, I guess we don't have to roll this week.
We don't, but you were also going to shout out to somebody local? An app.
Oh, yeah. I found out about this dope new app that's only... So it's my friend Laura, her friend Hannah. I hung out with them yesterday. It was my friend Laura's 31st birthday, 30-ish.
30-ish.
And her friend Hannah was telling me about how her brother and his friend came up with this app. It's called Tab. Mm-hmm. And right now I think it's only in Fort Collins, but they're like in the next 6 months planning to go like across America. It's gonna be fucking huge.
Right.
I was like, your brother's gonna be fucking rich pretty soon. She's like, yeah. Anyways, so it's called Tab, and it's basically like all these different local restaurants that you can get like. It's basically a coupon for like a free drink at a restaurant.
Okay.
And you can redeem them like once a month. It's like one free drink each month at each different restaurant or something.
Right.
So like you can just go around and get a free drink at any, like all these restaurants that are participating, and they have a lot of people on this app. And I think they're going into Denver now. So like you'll literally bring up the app, you like show them the free drink or whatever. And you get a free drink at whatever place you want.
Oh, damn.
And also it's a free promotion for the restaurant. So also if you have your own business and you're like, oh, I want to be a part of that to bring in more customers.
Right.
But also you get a fucking free drink wherever you go.
Fuck
yeah. And it's called Tab, and it's a local Fort Collins app. And they should be, and if you're not from Fort Collins, they're going to be fucking probably around the country pretty soon. And they're wanting to go fucking... I don't know if they're going to go globally, but who knows.
Kick ass.
But yeah, Tab, the app.
Nice.
And my friend, like yesterday at Jack's, got a free drink at Jack's because she had the app.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and they're fucking local people that fucking thought of that shit. I was like, we need to think of an app.
It's true. Just like shouts.
She was like, yeah, they didn't make it themselves. They hired an app
person to develop
producer.
Yeah.
App developer.
Yeah. I was like, developer?
And they just came up with the idea and whatever. But yeah, I was like, that's a fucking incredible idea.
It is.
What a great app to have. So just wanted to shout that out.
I like it.
And
yeah.
That's about all we got. And next week we'll be with you for a nice little field trip.
It'll be a good one.
It will. All right. Well, I guess we're signing off now.
Catch you on the flip side.
We'll catch you next time, party people. Bye.